Dress the start is the better of those by a lot, actually. So yes, Dress 1, we are heading into the cave of Maya, where we are gonna fight some pirates, and maybe we'll get the rare encounter where Tressa gets ambushed by a sleeping pirate. It's really cursed when it happens, but yeah, you will encounter one sleeping pirate here. And we're just gonna flee from it. The flee is guaranteed because the pirate is sleeping. If it ambushes you, it's just funny. Okay, no one got ambushed by the sleeping pirate.
Was there a version of the route previously where you would kill the pirate for...
Yeah, I was wondering about it, because they did say in the Discord that they are gonna not kill a Kate, so they are doing a Kateless strat. But, so when you were doing that, you would take the pirate for some JP, but I guess that is not the case. So they will probably cover the JP in some other way. This fight is quite simple. It's a two-boss fight, which tend to be longer in these single categories when you are with one character. We get rid of one of them early, and then the other one is mostly scripted, except the turn order matters just very slightly. Because he's gonna do his power-up move, and depending on whether you are getting it like one turn earlier or not, you will change the script just slightly. And it's mostly gonna alter like how you use when you use boosted trade wins and when you use non-boosted trade wins. We are running out like all of Stress's SP here with trade wins, by the way. We have exactly the right amount to do this fight. So Quadro's coming up on the kill here. And so is that. And that is Stress 1. We have a few cutscenes to go before we get out into the open world. And afterwards, we will be running around a lot. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the runners here. So what you're about to see is race between like some of the best runners of this category. So Teppo is a long-standing member of the community. He's been around since forever. And then Quadra is slightly newer to the community, but he has been working really hard, especially on these longer routes. So the current Galdera route is like the latest reroute by Quadra. Just barely he barely made it in time for this relay, basically. So, but gave us enough time after finishing it that everyone had time to learn it. So we'll see if Teppo has some different like alterations to the route, because the Japanese runners, they do have their own routes as well, and they're not always exactly the same as what we're running here. So it'll be interesting to see.
As far as I know, they have their smaller Japanese community where they like to share ideas. And they've been commenting on Quadra's route, I would assume, and talking about how some of the fights are a little bit difficult with people dying due to some of the armor differences.
So now we are making our way to the Scholar Shrine, as we saw 8 times yesterday. I guess only 7 times because Cyrus is a scholar, so you don't need to go there. Both runners are pretty much on the same pace. And yes, the goal is to go grab Scholar immediately because you need evasive maneuvers to get half the encounters. And on the way, we just try to escape all the encounters. Break if we can, but when you get an unfortunate double encounter like that boy's getting here, then you gotta pray and flee. And because this is not a Kate modded run, and the runners also agreed to not get a Kate, even if they happen to encounter one, we're gonna go to good old Whistlewood to farm some encounters for the JP to get 130 JP for the Scholar skills. So you need that much JP to learn 2 skills from the Scholar, and that gives you the passive evasive maneuvers. Alright, that boy's getting the box encounter, so this is a good encounter. This will give you... I think it just straight up gives you enough JP. It puts you on 121, so not quite. But you can get hard help with 30 JP here. So they're killing 2 encounters here. And I think Teppo can take the Frogs encounter as the second one with bandits. No, it's dances. Alright, Quadro got an encounter he wanted to take with a Soulstone.
What a good cat, actually.
Oh, there was a cat there. Okay, that's cool. So he doesn't need a second encounter. What a cheater. Getting a cat in Whistlewood when it's... So they agreed on not killing a cat before Whistlewood, but if you get one inside. So now we are exactly on the same pace. And both runners have enough JP for the Scholar skills, and they also have hard help land. Which you will want hard help when you go to the Noble Court screen, because you can use hard help dancers to deal with the encounter there, so the Guardian Sheep's not gonna be as big of a pain as it is for a lot of single story runs. Let's see if they try to do the walk anyway, because there's a small chance you don't get the encounter if you walk on the screen. They are, at least Quadros, going for it. So if you don't get the encounter, that's just really good luck and you save a whole bunch of time. But Quadro gets it quite late. Teppo is also walking. So yeah, here we use dancers that will kill the bird, and then hopefully it would put the goat to sleep, but confuse is also fine. It'll not hit you. And Teppo got ambushed, I think, and died. So once the bird is dead, you can actually use bow a couple times to break the notorious sheep, and that'll allow you to get out of the encounter safely. That's actually also a good reason to start Tressa. She can deal with this encounter. And in this category, we have the money to do it. So the dances do cost, like, how much do they cost? 2.4k?
Dances are 2.5.
2.5. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it, because as you can see with Teppo, who is having bad luck with this encounter, it can really kill your time on the split. So this would probably be a reset. But once we get the Scholar, we continue to Noble Court. Wait, is Teppo not just using the dancer? Okay, that'll explain the roughness. Yeah, so we went to Tak Noble Court. And then we are basically starting the world tour for real, because now we have EM, and we can just walk through screens without encounters for real long times. And Quadra is choosing to tackle Atlas Dam at this point as well. So we go to Atlas Dam. We will not recruit Cyrus, we just tag it, so we will come here later. This is gonna be a lot of the early run. This is the Orstera World Tour. We're gonna see all the famous sites. So our first tourist attraction was the Scholar Shrine, of course. It's the first thing. First thing most runs go to, except of course Golden Axe. And then we head south from Ripple-Tide, so we TV back to Ripple-Tide, and then we start heading south,
Also,
where we go towards some more shrines.
One note on Teppo's approach there. So it looked like he was 1 JP short of getting hard help, and then also having enough for evasive maneuvers after.
Okay, so he just did. He was not able to use the dances and had to just try to flee.
Yeah. He was betting on the sheep being nice.
That's a rough bet to take. I think he got through with the walk on third try.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to tag Cobblestone here. This is like one of my least favorite tags in the run.
Cobblestone
in
tag
the game.
sucks.
It's such a long walk, and then you just go there and you have to walk all the way back again. But it is a good TP point for later. So you have to tag it if you're gonna pick up Ulbrich, and since we're doing all the characters, we obviously have to do Ulbrich, because we're not doing glitches, so we're not duplicating characters or anything. Not doing 8 Hanits with golden axes.
Tragic.
Yes. So that's the first tag, one of many. So Cobblestone, another common tourist spot. Alright, we were corrected in the chat that you cannot skip towns either in Glitch Scaldi.
Yeah, I guess you do need all the characters for Glitch Scaldi as well, because you have to do all the stories.
Alright, next stop in our tour is the Warrior Shrine. We are gonna need Warrior Job for mostly tanking. So, because Warrior is the defensive class of this game, it's for like Warrior classes, it's actually pretty bad at doing damage. But it eventually has the most important damage dealing skill, which we will see a lot later. But for now, we just grab the Warrior Shrine because it's on our way. It will give us slightly better step count as well going to Stoneguard, because this screen is one of the worst screens that all runs have to go to. You can get an encounter on your way to Stoneguard, but if you go to the Warrior Shrine, it's very unlikely. But then we have to go to the Moonlit Coast, Moonstruck Coast, and this is like a 50-50. But again, the good thing about Tressa is that she has Merchant Job on herself, and Merchant can deal with this encounter. Let's see if we get a demonstration. No, Quadra gets through without getting the encounter, but you can use Bandits to kill one of the enemies in the encounter and break the bigger one. So we can maybe see that on Teppo's screen, but let's hope he also gets a good run through Stoneguard, because if that encounter ambushes you, you're still very dead.
Now, if you're a god gamer, you just go through this screen and don't get the encounter at all without the saving
Yes.
quit.
Oh yeah, the Moonstruck Coast. That's
Yeah.
you don't gamble that. That's like I think it's like 5% or something to get through, and you have to run such a long time after. Like if you save and die, it's slow too. Like that's kind of the pseudo YOLO. You save but don't quit, and you just hope that maybe you get through, and then if you die, you're cutting your losses, but you're still losing quite a lot of time. Okay, Teppo also didn't get the Stoneguard encounter, so
Let me check.
he's
what the
actually
Moonstruck
catching
Coast
up.
is.
quite nicely after the noble card screen treated him badly.
Okay, Moonstruck Coast, no save and quit. 86.88% chance to get an encounter.
Alright, that's better odds than I thought, actually. So it's almost 15. Cool. Alright, so we are continuing on our world tour. Right now we're heading to Gold Shore, which is where Alphonse and Ophelia's chapters are going to happen later. And for now we just, once again, pop in for a quick tack and step reset. And then we head back out. And our main goal is to go to Grand Port, which is the chapter where Tressa's final chapter will take place. And it's also the trading capital of the world. So there's a lot of items available there for purchase. And we will be buying some stuff once we get there. And on the way we pick up one money chest on the next screen. These screens have actually good items, but if you want to take all of them, you have to do more step resets. So most runs are just going to pick up this money right here. And then after picking up the money, we're going to save quit. Because this screen is way too long to run through without the save quit, no matter what you do. Even if you take no chest, you're not getting anywhere. And we pick up one L stone from here. I think it's a Thunder L.
Yep.
Which we're gonna need when we recruit our first party member. So, like in all the single story runs as well, one of the early game goals is to get some amount of large soul stones so we can kill the chapter 1 bosses. And we purchase an adamantine shield from here. We actually buy a bunch of protective gear. And then we're gonna buy our first nuts. So this run has a lot of nuts in it. It's a lot less than it used to be though. So we buy a nourishing nut which gives a permanent HP increase and a magic nut that gives a permanent magic stat increase. So nuts are not super relevant in the single story runs because we generally don't use our stats except HP. But in Galdera we do nuts a lot. Nuts a lot. Sir, nuts a lot is what this is. And
in
then
single stories, you usually just use HP, either in the form of empowering bracelets or potentially the apothecary job with
and
Hardy.
if you have Therion, you get a small nourishing nut. Here we looted Grand Port. Basically, we bought the nuts and we bought some pomegranates, and then we looted some artwork and money from the auction house. This is left there in the back room for us to take. And then we go to Cobblestone again. We buy a Curious Bloom from the dude standing at the entrance. Curious Bloom is one of Alphonse's concoct ingredients. And it's the one that gives you the most unpredictable results.
That one's also pretty rare, right? Like you can't get it into
Yeah,
many
the
places.
Curious Blooms are quite rare. We get a few during the run. And they are actually a resource that you have to kind of track your use of. Because they are used mostly as like part of backup scripts in fights. So if you use all of them, you have to get more later. Alright, so Sina was sharp enough to notice that Teppo's route is still buying the fortifying nut that was cut from Quadro's reroute. So that means that he didn't have them. He might have not have money for the dances either. And it also means that his Therion is gonna be hitting harder by default. So we're gonna see how that reflects his fights later in the run. But Quadro basically cut all the fortifying nuts from this run.
Oh.
They would increase the physical damage of a character, and we just just supplement the damage via other means, basically.
Just crit? Is that the play?
It is not.
Okay.
So we attacking Clearbrook now. We'll attack Sunshade and Clearbrook. So those are just again towns that we're gonna come to later. We're gonna Prim starts from Sunshade and Alphen starts from Clearbrook. We're not gonna be coming back to Sunshade in a bit. It's gonna be a while. So if you like Prim, this is not the best category for you. She is not seen for most of the run. And now Quadra is at Quarry Crest, where we start Tressa Chapter 2. This chapter is generally done in two parts, because the first part basically has you end up on the very end of the top screen. So basically you always want to TP out from there. And it also involves buying these nondescript stones from these miners and as part of the quest. And they also happen to have soul stones that we can buy. So we are gonna do that part of the chapter. So we're gonna buy the stones, and we're just gonna buy some soul stones on the way as well. So this guy has a Thunder L and an M. And then the next guy who we buy a quest item from has, I think it's Shadow M and Light M. Oh, we can also buy a Curious Bloom from that guy. Yeah, those are Shadow M, and the last guy has a Light M and Fire M, I want to say. Yeah, Fire Soulstone M and Light Soulstone M. And basically once we are done with this start of Tressa 2, we're gonna go to Stoneguard again. This is actually quite a bit of a hub for the run, as it was for Hanit's single story as well. So this is a good town for going to a lot of places, but for right now we are just going here to buy some really good gear. This is kind of one of the big advantages having Tressa early, so you can just go around and buy stuff if you have the money. Whereas other means of acquisition would need higher levels. So we buy Mighty Belt and Elemental Augmenta. The Mighty Belt gives 50 physical attack, and the Elemental Augmenta gives a whopping 100 elemental attack.
Which is massive.
Yeah, at this point of the game, 100 elemental attack is huge. And after those purchases, we're just basically gonna go recruit our first party member. But let's see what Teppo's buying here. Is he buying the same things? Since the money route is a little different. So Teppo is also just buying those same things. I did not see if he bought the Curious Bloom in Tressa 2. And yeah, Quadra is about to reach Boulderfall, where we recruit Therion. And as we discussed in probably a lot of the single story runs, Therion is the only character that can open the purple chests on the map. So we want to have him before we head to those parts of the continent that have purple chests. And that's why we recruit him early.
And because we are going all around the world, and there's a lot of good stuff in those purple chests, it just makes sense to pick him up early.
Yeah, we have to go all around the world
resources.
because we eventually have to go to every town. And it just generally is better to just run around most of the area with one character. So if you get ambushed, you die faster. But of course, once you're heading out to areas where purple chests, you have to have Therion. So we gotta pick him up at this point. And because this is the first chapter 1 boss we're gonna be fighting, he doesn't have very high stats yet. So he's just gonna die to a single soulstone. As long as it's the right element. So hitting a weakness, as we probably discussed multiple times in the single stories as well, hitting a weakness adds 30% more damage. So he dies to this Thunder L Soulstone. An L Stone does 2.7k normally, and then 3.5 when you get the bonus, and if you have broken the target, it does double damage for 5.4. But yeah, since this is a long run, as in the single stories, we used wallets basically to beat all the enemies and some stones. This run also starts the same way, but because there's 36 chapters to clear and some extra bosses, there's not enough money in the world that would be sufficient to clear all of them that way. And also just once we get to the optional challenges, the wedge damage starts to fall off too. So we're actually going to need more damage. So we are eventually going to be gearing up our characters to do damage with the skills and stats. On the way out of Therion 1, we're going to be stealing a couple of items from the lady at the entrance. It's going to be a small pomegranate and a small nourishing nut. Pomegranates are also really important to this run, because it turns out that if you can just get more boost points from items, it's very strong. Because normally you only get one per turn and nothing if you have used boost points. Okay. I didn't see, did Quadro take the step reset on the Victor's Hollow screen, or did he just get through straight?
I missed it too.
Yeah, I was looking at that post screen. So once we get to Victor's Hollow, we are gonna buy more nuts. We buy all the nuts from the dude on the entrance.
Right, Chad is saying that Quadra took the reset.
Yeah.
Thanks
so,
for paying attention.
Yeah. Let's see if that boy's also. Yeah, that boy's also taking it. So you can dip into the Dusk Barrow trail to reset your steps, because the Victor's Hollow screen has the smallest number of steps you can take before you can get an encounter on the entire map.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's why it always feels so rough, because it looks short, but you get the encounter often. And the reason is that you just have just a smaller amount of steps that you can take on that screen before you can.
Oh, okay. Oh, Teppo didn't take the safe reset before Hunter Shrine.
No, you don't do that.
Really?
You don't.
I could have sworn Quadra did it.
No way.
Okay.
Hunter's Shrine is safe to go from Victor's Hollow.
Okay.
And yeah, we pick up another job. We pick up Hunter. Hunter is needed mostly for access to leg hold, which is one of the strongest skills in the game. And we will be seeing it in use a lot. Quadra gets an unlucky encounter on the Still Snow screen while going for the Cleric Shrine. But we have one Thunder Elstone that we can use to kill one of the unlucky encounters. So we have one extra that can be used. And Teppo is also heading to the Cleric Shrine, so we are really close again, actually. We're both at the Cleric Shrine now. So that encounter Quadra got basically almost even the difference. And the Cleric job's gonna be really important for later portions of the run. We will cover that when it comes to that. And after we get the Cleric job, we're gonna go to Still Snow again, just to tag it for later. And then we're gonna be heading straight out into another high-level area, which is the path to Northreach. This is one of the longest paths in the game, but we're not going to Northreach yet. We're actually just gonna go to the Maw of the Ice Dragon. Sorry, I'm dropping these names. It's been a while since I've read them in English. So the Maw has a couple of items of interest. First of all, money. And then it has an Adamant hat, which is actually a helmet that gives you a lot of magic stat or elemental attack.
It's
so
the
those
highest
will become
elemental attack hat, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, at least out of all the ones that are in any way reasonably acquirable. It's so good, in fact, that we're gonna get a second one later. So after we have frozen our feet off in the cold northern lands, we go back to the sunlands to warm up and get some desert air. And we go to Sunshade again. Just once again, we're just heading out to attack more things. And we also take a nice sand shower on our way because we dip into the Dancer Shrine, which you probably have not seen in any of the single story runs.
That would be correct.
And also probably didn't see Cleric Shrine. Hunter's Shrine maybe. I don't know if any route goes to Hunter's Shrine these days. But yeah, we are getting Dancer here. And with that, I think we have all the secondary jobs that we are gonna wanting to get.
They're almost even. Quadra did pick up the old coin right outside Sunshade as well, so that's a little bit of time lost there compared to Teppo, who skipped it. So all these small things are starting to even out the pace.
We're probably also gonna take a step reset here. This screen is also like notoriously long. And again, even if it looks like it would not be that far from the shrine to the town, this last stretch is longer than you think. So even though we don't run a whole lot after the step reset, the step reset is still pretty much always worth taking. You can risk it. I think the chance to get an encounter is less than 50, but it's not a risk you want to take. Because your Thunder L, which is the backup for getting an encounter, doesn't kill it.
Oh.
I think if you like if it was killable by the Thunder L and you still had it, I think you would risk it. But because it doesn't kill the encounter, you just don't want to get it. So here's another famous screen, the Marcelim Catacombs. We're not gonna be looting this place, which is really funny because the Viper Dagger is just like right there. But we don't take it even though we want it, and we're just gonna be buying it for 62k much later.
It's just a step reset, interesting. I feel like I remember an older version of the route that does actually loot some of the catacombs, or maybe that's like a baby version.
Yeah, it could be because this route has gone through a lot of changes as well. I'm not aware of all of the details from runs before my time running it.
It's very possible. I'm just mixing.
Yeah, Teppo is also buying the Invigorating Nut here, which Quadra is not buying. So the Invigorating Nut is gonna increase the character's SP, maximum SP. Whereas I think Quadra's route got most of those as well, and is just using an Inspiring Bracelet to get SP later. And as we do in single stories, we buy rocks from the god in Muslim and then we loot their treasury as good guests do. Yeah, looting the catacombs is more popular in other categories where money is a lot tighter. Because you have the Viper Dagger there and you have the Master Spear that you can get with the glitch. And there's also a Rev Jam, Revitalizing Jam, that gives full heal, like HP, SP, VP. That can come in handy as well. Alright, here's more famous screens, the Everhold screen. We take both items from the screen because we need to go all the way to Everhold, which means we always have to save and quit anyway. So it's worth just getting the silver pouch that sells for 8k, in addition to getting the light L. Because you have to take this save quit anyway. And now we run to Everhold.
Which is not safe.
Yeah, this is not safe. It's quite safe. It's small chance of encounter. You usually don't see it, but it's real feels bad when you do.
Let's see what the cheat says.
Oh yeah, let's see. We gotta pay attention to these purchases. So Quadra is buying the Shadow L and the Soak Rope. So this is what his current route does. And okay, so Teppo is also buying the Sock Rope, so they are at least on the same base route, because the previous route didn't buy the Sock Rope at this point in the run.
Oh yeah, they got the elemental rope, right?
Yeah, we used elemental rope. Squatter said he got glitched at the Hunter Shrine. I didn't. I wasn't paying attention, so...
So looking at the encounter rate sheet, apparently the run to Everhold after save and quit is only 2.3%. So it's not as bad as I was thinking.
Quarter's getting the Palm M there. I think the notes say to not get it, but I guess this is a marathon, so he might be just getting it for safety.
Teppo is skipping it.
Yeah. So pomegranates in this run are something you have to keep track of, because it's one of those things that if you don't necessarily have to use all of your palms if everything goes with the best scripts. And also we're gonna be copying them with endless items. And then if you are low, you gotta take some backups later. So I guess if you take one palm here for like a few seconds of time loss, then you just don't need to worry about it, which is probably good for a marathon setting. Just less things on your mind when you are hard focusing on doing a safe run.
Yeah, for sure.
And here, yeah, this is the famous Everhold tunnels where we actually both got through to the first leg without an encounter. We basically run to the boss trigger, and even though you say no to the fight, it still counts as an encounter, so it resets your steps. So we just actually visit the boss trigger like 3 times so that we can loot the whole place. Because it has a money chest and it has the knowledge staff, which is one of the better staves in the game. And then it has the Death Cleaver, which is one of the best axes in the game. And we were using both of those. Damn, we are on the exact same.
Oh yeah, we started there in chapter 2. And then we left. This is going to be a theme.
Yeah, now we are doing the first menu where we just put all the stuff we got to Tressa. Well, we first put all the magic stuff on Tressa, and then the elemental booster, because optimize doesn't affect your accessories. And then we optimized Therion as well, to give him all the defensive gear that we picked up. And now we're gonna be picking up the main star of this run, Ophelia. So she's gonna be doing most of the damage for the large portion of the run. And this is one... Oh, Quadro got an unlucky encounter, so Teppo's in the lead now. So Ophelia being the main damage dealer is one... For now it's been years since the change was made, but it used to be Cyrus. Because Cyrus is the natural, like, elemental attack character in the game. So he would still be, like, the best at it. But Cyrus has the problem that he's Study Foe, which reveals you random enemy weaknesses, takes about 2 seconds every fight in the run. And it adds up to like 2 minutes of time loss through such a long run.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights.
Yeah, so even if it would be like technically better to use Cyrus, the fact that he just loses 2 minutes for being Cyrus just really hurts his stock. There's also some other advantages to having Ophi, which we will maybe cover later. Right now we are heading through the OT1 dungeon where we have to fight this guardian of the shrine to get the sacred flame. And because we have a lot of good gear from looting all those high-level dungeons, we are now going to see the first instance of not using any resources to really... We're not using any resources in this fight, basically we're just gonna destroy it with skills. I think we're gonna see a slightly different fight from Quadra. Yeah, Quadra's just gonna defend with all of his characters and just break with Therion and Ophi and then kill it with Tressa. And I did see that Teppo was using a soul stone. I don't know why his magic is lower, because they are picking up the same things. So that's the old fight where you actually use a soul stone there.
Could it be a difference between
it's a faster
XP?
fight. It's a 2-turn fight. So that might be the reason. But a lot of the turns that Quadra takes extra are defense, so they don't take as much time. It's still, of course, faster to do it in 2 turns. Alright, next we are recruiting our 4th character, Alphen. We want him because of Concoct, mostly. Concoct is extremely strong. But he can also swing the axe quite well. Because for some reason they gave Apothecaries the best physical attack skills in the game. That's some healing for you. Real medieval style. But Concoct is gonna be very important for some of the upcoming fights. Alright, Quadras is really unlucky. He got another unlucky encounter here. So Teppo is getting ahead a little bit more. This snake is weak to ice and shadow. So again, we are gonna have some damage from Stress's high elemental attack, and then we're just gonna do the rest with stones. Just 1 Shadow L and 1 Shadow M to finish this snake off. Or just any M. Teppo got the slightly better turn order. Well, the ideal turn order is the snake doesn't get a turn at all, but that's really rare. But Tressa last means you have to defend an extra time, and you lose a couple of seconds because all characters are poisoned. So when you defend, you get the kind of a stagger from the poison animation in addition to the defend. And we are buying some stuff that is going to be used by Alvin mostly. So it's gonna review what we're buying when Quadra gets there. So we're gonna buy Injurious Seeds mostly, and then we would buy a Healing Herb if we don't have one as a drop. And then in this menu, we're gonna be changing the party order. We're gonna put Ophelia first, and I'll explain a little bit later why. But then we also feed her a lot of nuts, so she will now be switching to Scholar, and she'll start doing most of the damage. And Alphen learns Amputate, so he can swing the axe. And then switches to Merchant to get access to Spear and Bow. We don't learn any Merchant skills yet, because he just joined and only has like 30 JP. And Tyrion's gonna do the normal thief stuff and get Armor Corrosive.
The nice detail about this menu is that we do it right before finishing Alphen's chapter 1, because you get healed when you go back to his house.
Oh yeah, Quadra actually saves time here because when he killed the encounter with the Thunder L in Still Snow, one of the enemies dropped an Essence of Pomegranate, so he did not need to buy one after Elven 1. So now we are even again.
Ah.
So now we are heading towards Saint's Bridge, which, by the way, the way it's written in Japanese, I would have never guessed it's Saint's Bridge.
What is it in
like
Japanese?
Sento Bridge. It's okay. How? I don't know.
Okay.
Katakana English is weird. That's all I can say. We are doing basically the next kind of main objective of the run is to do Ophelia's story. And the reason we want to do that is because whenever you do a character's full story, you unlock some new side quests that are related to characters in the story. And those side quests have some of the best rewards in the game. And we especially want the one from Ophi that opens up after Ophi 4. So that's why we are basically now in the process of rushing through all 4 Ophi's chapters. And because we do it so early, it does mean we have to use some money on veterans. Even though we do have gear, we don't really have the levels or the passive skills yet to do some real damage. So even though we have really good gear, we cannot do that much damage with skills. So here is Ophelia doing daycare duties again. As we saw like 12-ish hours ago.
Yeah, for some reason, OP's chapters always have something to do with kids being in trouble in one way or another.
I guess it kind of ties back to her own backstory of being adopted.
Alright, true.
So we basically learn about what the trouble is here, and one kid just run off to the forest, and we gotta go after before they get eaten by a doggo. So on this trail, in a single story, you would save and quit to avoid the encounter, but we are actually just gonna kill it instead. Oh, that post getting this money chest. I don't think Quadra. Oh, Quadra got the cringe lizard. So the encounter you see on that post screen just dies to lizard, a boosted lizard at this point. But the cringe lizard on Quadra screen has really high evasion and way more HP than the encounter on that post screen. So we have to break it with bandits because they cannot miss, and then we have to have more BP on Ophelia to kill it as well. So while Teppo is able to kill the encounter with just one lizard boosted once, Quadra's gonna need to break the lizard and have a triple boosted lizard as well.
I think that's like a 5% encounter.
Yeah, it's around that. It's really rare. So. And in the woods itself, we also have a really long screen that we have to run through. And once again, the solution is just gonna be that we're just gonna kill the encounter. So we cannot avoid it. We just toss a soulstone at it. Which, Quadra got the encounter that you can actually kill by spells as well. But he also got surprised. He's having really bad luck. I don't think we're gonna die here because we have a lot more defense that we do have in a single story run. So, but even though you can kill this without using a stone, it's still faster to use the stone.
Yeah.
If you get the trees, you have to use a stone. And here is our Rod with Neff. The first chapter 2 boss that we're doing. So breaking with... Oh, interesting. That's both breaking it with Concoct. Whereas Quadra is giving Merchant to Alphen, so Alphen has weapons that the doggo is weak to. And we do one set of wets. A little bit of damage from Ophi's Blizzard when she breaks it with a boosted Blizzard. And then Alphen's Amputation does the rest, basically. So we don't need any... Again, we only need the wets instead of needing stones like we would do in a single story run.
That's Ophi chapter 2. We're gonna follow up.
Oh yeah, Zero's
instantly with
in
chapter
the chat
3.
as well. Shout out to Zero, who is also one of the core members of the Octopath speedrunning community. Has done a lot of routes in the past. And I believe he will be commentating the cast a single story. That is after this. No, after this is the glitched Alphen and then is casting. Alright, so now we are doing Ophelia 3 immediately. This is once again one of those chapters that puts us in the far back of the bottom of the top screen, like the second screen in the map. So we once again just gonna do half of the chapter and then warp out. We buy the empowering bracelet from the guy in that house. That's an accessory that gives you 500 HP, which is a lot because that's like almost doubling the HP of some of our characters. Notice also there's a really tempting chest over there on the right, but because we are running on the left side of the stairs, we're not going to be bothering with it. Because we will be heading up the right side of those stairs later. And that's just optimal to pick it up then. We don't need it. It's a money chest about, I think it's 5.4k. We don't, no, it's 4.5, something like that. It's 4 and 5. We don't need it right now. So we can just pick it up later when it's less steps to do so. And here, I didn't notice if Teppo was buying the HP ring. Quadra is buying the empowering ring. So that's another HP accessory that gives you 250 HP. I didn't see if Teppo got it or not. And then after that, we are going to do our menu in preparation for going to Northreach. So we walk to Still Snow again, and the important thing about the trip to Northreach is that we're going to be fighting the famous cringe lizards. So the path to Northreach, as discussed earlier, is so long that you cannot avoid the encounter. And the encounter is always fixed. So a lot of screens in the game have like fixed first encounter. So when you come to the screen, the first encounter is always going to be the same. And here it's going to be the cringe lizards. Just like the cringe lizard in the Riverlands that we saw on Quadro screen, unfortunately. These guys also have really high evasion. They are quite tanky. But they only have 2 shields and are weak to axe. So we can use bandits to break them, and Teppo got the guard turn order, trust first. So one part of the menu is actually making sure we have 2 merchants with hide health. So this fight has more chances to get a good turn order. And Quadra also got a pretty good turn order. He got hit a couple of times, but as you can see, all the HP gear that we are putting on our characters and the defensive stuff allows us to live through these attacks. And because we are strong enough now with Ophi, we're gonna just use a dance skill called Peacock Strut, to buff her damage by 50%, and then give her a third PB, so she can do fully boosted lightning blast to kill them once they are broken. And I saw Teppo is buying more nuts here as well, so his route is a little bit different than what Quadra is doing. Okay, we did buy the HP ring on Teppo as well, because we are moving it around now. From Northreach, we buy HP necklace, or the empowering necklace, which is very expensive, but it also gives you a whopping 1000 HP. And that will allow our characters to survive a lot of things that is basically out of reach in single stories, because it's way too expensive for them. Plus, only Therion goes to Northreach. And again, we are on the same cutscene.
Yeah, almost synced.
Yeah. This is Ophi's Chapter 3. Kids are in trouble again. This is another one of those caves that are so long that we cannot get through without an encounter. So it's gonna kill it. And that's actually one of really nice things about this category, and why it is kind of more consistent than single stories, is that we do need a certain amount of JP and XP from encounters. So even if you get like encounters that are unlucky, you can still kill them and then flee later encounters because you got more JP and EXP earlier. And that's part of the skill of running this category as well, is that you have to be able to recognize when you can skip an encounter and when you can't. So you have to kind of track your JP and EXP in order to know whether you're on track or not. But that basically allows you to cut time losses from unfortunate encounters, because you'll end up with more XP and JP. So this boss fight here is a double boss fight, where they have like really annoyingly different weaknesses, so we have to break them separately. But the basic strat is that we're just gonna use Armor Corrosive with Therion on both of them, and we use merchants to break them because that way we cannot miss. And also I get the merchants have, or the hard help vets, bandits and mercs, they have weapons that we don't have easy access to as well. And then once they are both broken and armor corrosive, we'll just finish them off with one set of wets and some damage from OP. And that's a clean fight for Teppo. And Quadras is right after that. Quadra got a slightly slower encounter, so
Yeah.
Teppo got a little bit ahead again.
Are we getting the 5? No, we're not getting the 4.5. Okay.
No, not yet.
Oh, right.
You gotta
Okay,
wait for
much
it.
later. Okay.
Yeah. When we go the right side of the stairs, then we're gonna get it. So that's OV3. Now we have access to doing OV4. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Except first, I do believe we are doing a little bit of side quest stuff. So at the very beginning of the run, we did miss to mention that there is the NPC right outside your starting town who wants a healing grape. And his quest line connects to the fighting the secret boss, Galdera. So we have to do his quest line. And the second part of his quest line is in Noble Court, and we are gonna do it in sync with Therion 2. So we're basically doing Therion's chapter 2 in like 4 different pieces. And this first piece, so we visit a couple of the quest locations that he has to visit. And then we guide this dude who we need for the quest. And then we just warp out and take him to some dangerous trail in the other side of the world.
Oh, we don't even bring him out yet.
Yeah, because you're on the wrong screen, so it's
Yeah, of course.
better to warp out and then warp back in. Because in this game, you cannot warp to the town you're in. So if you are on the second screen of a town and you need to get to the first screen, and you're really far back, we generally want to route it so that we have a TP somewhere else to do something, and then we walk back to get to the start of the town. Instead of running back inside the town, because that's slow.
So now we just have this traveling troop member with us.
Yeah, he's just with us right now. And we can get an encounter here, and Quadra of course gets it because he is the unluckiest boy, and Teppo did not get the encounter. I did see Teppo's picking up the extra money item there, which I believe Quadra is skipping, and this is because Teppo is buying some extra nuts. Now, this encounter is... Oh, I think... Did we get ambushed as well? I think we have gotten ambushed. But I think Quadra can still kill it. And this is one of the encounters that if you get this one, you can skip a later one. So it's lower to kill than the one we are planning to kill. But it's still better to kill this if you get it and avoid the save quit.
Mm-hmm. And it's better to kill it than die.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, you could break and flee, but we don't actually do that almost ever in Galdera. Because if we get an unlucky encounter, we just route the JP and EXP accordingly. At least the really good runners do.
But meanwhile, on Teppo's side, we're doing some selling and finishing Kit's chapter 2, or second part of his storyline.
A nice thing about that quest, that it puts you like 50 meters outside of the town. So we save steps from there because we want to go that way anyway. So we save like 5 seconds of running. Maybe 3, I don't know.
And it skips an extra transition from having to leave the town.
That's one. We also did a really rare thing in Duskbarrow. We bought a gold item from an NPC. Oftentimes it's not worth buying the gold items because you cannot sell them for profit. But that one you can buy and then sell for profit later. And the later is like 30 seconds later. Yeah, Teppo is on the another long stream with Windmill Flats, where we have no way of getting through without an encounter. But again, it's a fixed encounter, and these drakes are really easy to break with Hunter. Because Hunter has the Arrow Storm skill that does 3 or more bow hits to all enemies, and the drakes have 2 shields are weak to bow. And we do actually also kill this one, because that's just JP and EXP that has been routed in, because we have to.
Yeah, you always get it anyway, so might as well.
Yeah. We have to get it, and we have to get EXP and JP, so let's just get everything. And we have enough damage for Ophi that once they are broken and she is buffed, we can just kill them. Okay, that boy is doing some menuing here, which is not in Quadra's route. So he's teaching, so we're putting Alphen and Warrior here already. I think Quadra is gonna be doing that a little bit later. Because Quadra has Merchant on Alphen at the moment. Did Teppo actually move Merchant to Therion then?
I guess we'll see when they get a fight.
I mean, he has to, because you need 2 Vats. You need like 2 Merchants for this fight. Yeah, I think Teppo is doing some of the Riverford menuing that we're gonna be doing a little bit later on Quadra stream, already for like this fight. This cave has a hidden path, kind of. We're gonna see it on Quadra screen. People generally don't know about this until they run that. You can actually go through the top of the cave as well, which is relevant because we're gonna be picking up the giant club. Okay, Teppo now got the bad luck of getting ambushed or getting an encounter.
Oh, Zero in chat is mentioning that Teppo was looking at 3 veteran Matthias.
Also, let's see, Quadra's route is picking up a money chest here. Let's see if Teppo is picking it up. Because this is one of the changes that was made to Quadra's route in order to afford the Sorcerer Rope. Besides cutting the nuts, I mean some of the nuts, not all of them. We need to pick up this chest to make up the money, because the Sword Rope is really expensive, and I think Teppo is not getting it. So Teppo's route is probably based on the older one. Alright, let's see. We are once again on the same fight, because Teppo got the really bad encounter and Quadra picked up the 30k chest, so both runners taking a little bit of time loss in relation to each other, meaning that we are once again in the same fight. And neither runner got Soulstones crossed at them, because these cultists can use our own cuts against us and use Soulstones. And if they do that,
are cheating.
If they do that like twice in turn 1, you will actually die. Your characters can tank 1 Soulstone, but not 2.
So they're almost exactly synced.
Yeah, once again, okay, let's compare these fights. Teppo is doing something different.
So Teppo has Dancer Tressa, whereas Quadra has Dancer Therion.
Yes. Okay, interesting. So Teppo is using a triple hitting, glimmering concoct here.
Quadra is only using a double hit.
Yep. Quadra's gonna break with the Blizzard there. But Teppo is breaking with Vats, so he's using more Vats.
Okay, so it is the triple vet script.
Yeah.
Is the normal one
And a
4
Soulstone.
vets?
No, it's actually less Vats, I think. Quadra's using 4 Vats. So that's how That's how Teppo is managing the money route, because he's buying more nuts, and also he didn't pick up the 30k.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which I guess like it makes sense if you think the 3-watts Matthias is faster, then why would you pick up the 30k that Quadra is just using? But you can see Quadra is actually being a little bit faster here. But whether the time gain from that is covered, like whether that covers for the time loss for getting the 30k, I don't know. But there is the nice thing about getting the 30k is that you do the save quit, which removes the encounter risk on that screen.
Yeah, true. But there is also a chance you don't even get an encounter if you skip the 30k, right?
Yeah, but if you get the encounter, you have to kill it, and
Yeah.
it's a really annoying encounter to kill.
Let's see, does the sheet have anything on that?
Yeah, I think if you don't get the encounter, then Teppo's road is faster. But Quadras basically eliminates the encounter risk. And then recoup some of the time with a faster Matthias fight. Alright, now that we have completed OV4, we are now able to do the side quest that we have been alluding to. But before we do that, we once again have to optimize our warps. So we're going to start Alphen 2 first. And we're actually going to be picking up the famous 4.5k chest now. Soon. Anytime now.
Yes, finally.
I think we also inquired an NPC at the entrance of the town.
Oh, hello? Okay, we're
Okay,
back.
are we back on?
Yes, I didn't realize I can move people on the server. I have power. Alright, we're so back.
All right, we're so back. Sorry for the inconvenience. Discord did a bit of a trick on us. Our restreamer got put on an AFK channel where no one can talk. We tried following them, but no luck. Luckily, Sasu is a god with powers of moderation and was able
I'm not
to
used to
yoink
this.
the restreamer back to this channel. All right, in the run, we started Alphen 2. We missed the famed chest pickup, unfortunately. We never get to see whether it was 4.5 or 5.5 or whatever. And now we are heading to a couple more places. We got the Thief's Shrine, actually, which I did forget about. So that's the last job we're getting, not the Dance's Shrine. When we skip, we're not getting Apothecary. Alphen's enough for us. He's such a good boy that we don't need a second Apothecary. At the moment, we are basically headed to Orwell. I guess we also missed the side quest. So once we had completed OP4, we went to Saint's Bridge and we got the side quest, help more trouble with the kids, basically. It's a very cute quest. But what we get from that is the Badge of Friendship. And the Badge of Friendship is an accessory that gives us 50% more JB for all of our JB gains for the whole party. So that's the reason why we want to do OP4 so early, because the 50% JB is going to go a long way in ensuring that we don't need to kill that many encounters. Because we need a lot of... We're going to need a lot of JB in this run. We need to master a bunch of jobs, and also the secret jobs, which are even more expensive. They're actually not that much more expensive. They just have a higher cost. Like, they just have the same cost for all skills. Whereas normal jobs have increasing costs for skills. So it's... When you unlock skills from normal jobs, it's 30 JP for the first one, 100, 500,000, and 5,000 for the last one. And the secret jobs are 2k each. And now we are doing... Basically, we now both, once again, have the same-ish setups, because I believe Quadra now did the menu that, like, Teppo did part of. And Teppo is going to the shrine from a different direction. That's because he needs an encounter. So he forces this encounter so he can kill it, because he didn't get one in the Orwell screen. And we do need the JP from that encounter in order to continue the run. So if you don't get it, you walk to Dusk Barrow instead of this Hollow, and you take the longer path and kill the encounter. So now Quadra is ahead a little bit again. And we're heading to the Shrine of the Archmagus. And this is one of the shrines that gives a secret job. The problem with this is that unlike the other shrines where we can just walk in and get the job, here we are gonna be faced with a little bit of a challenge that we are totally prepared for. Levels-wise, we are like level, not even, well, level 24. This is a level 60 area, and it's one of the hardest bosses in the game.
I think we're fine.
We're gonna be fine. We pick up some items from his dungeon while we are heading at him. And then we're gonna be heading to fight a dude who has a really great hair. He used like 3 bottles of shampoo every day. Or maybe he became a mage because he doesn't want to wash his hair. He's used some magic. But yeah, this is Drysang, one of the most expensive fights in the run. We use, I think, 7 veterans in this fight. This fight is fully scripted as long as you just pay attention to turn orders. And it's really just the first turn where you have to look at your merchant turn orders, because we want the merchant that goes last to have enough BP to do triple boosted armor corrosive. And then Alphen's gonna break with Spearhead and 1000 Spears. And then we're gonna start wailing on him. This is the fight where you're gonna see if your setup's correct as well. Because if once he recovers from the break, he's gonna be blasting us. And then I started blasting. We also get a nice dono from him. So one reason we got the Thief job, besides just getting armor corrosive on 2 people, is the Snatch passive, which just doubles gains from your steals and your collects. And here we use M Poison. This is a kind of a on and off strat that has been used for this fight. So we use M Poison to save an L stone. And there you can see the boss using Ventus Saltaire. And everyone's really low HP, so Quadra's setup is correct because no one died. If someone dies here, you know your setup's wrong. The damage ranges have been calculated so that you cannot die in this fight. As long as you just have everything set up correctly. Alright, let's see how is any different in Peppo's screen so far. He's using the same 2 Thief strat. Last time I was running this, we always armor corrosive with Terry, and we didn't have press on Thief. Yeah, and Quadra is about to finish this fight up. So we use
poison tick.
Yeah, the range is so that a lot of times it'll actually does the poison tick, which is really funny. Yeah, I think we're gonna see the poison tick death. Yes, great job for Quadra. That's the first major hurdle down, even though it is fixed.
Nice.
And on Teppo's screen, he's not using M Poison, he's opting to use an extra L stone instead, which does slightly more damage. But then means you need an extra L stone. But he stole one from the encounter that he was killing in the shrine, actually. That's resourceful. And that's something you can do. A lot of the enemies in these dungeons carry soul stones.
Oh, he has so much elemental defense. She took less than 1k damage from the fire.
Yeah, well, she has Saw Growth and
yeah, exactly.
highest natural elemental defense as well. Yeah, so once we beat Drysang, we have access to the Sorcerer job, which is a completely broken job. It has all 6 elements, and it has the highest tier version of each. So Scholar has like a basic version of Fire, Lightning, and Ice, and then has the double version. And Scholar has triple versions of all elements. They do cost a lot of SP, so SP management is gonna become really important right about now. If you read the Galdi notes, you will see that each boss actually has the amount of SP you need to kill it written next to it. So once you memorize those, you can always be sure that you are having the correct amount of SP when you head into it. Yeah, we built Sorcerer on Ophi, and we learn the Light Spell and Elemental Break Rod, which is a rod attack that does armor corrosive but from magic. And it also does decrease the enemy's magic attack, I believe. And now we are doing Tressa 2. So we started this about an hour ago, a little less, and now we're finishing it. Because now we have a lot more damage from all the sorcerer stuff. And we also did teach Tressa one rather important skill. So we put Tressa through some scholar training, and she learned what's it called in English? Scholar has a passive skill that you get on, I think after you learn 3 skills, which prevents ambushes for the rest of the game. Percipience, yes. We also got in an earlier menu that unfortunately happened while we were having the tech issues. We learned Ward Evil on Therion from Cleric, which doubles our encounter flee chances. So that will be important later as well, when we can start fleeing encounters that we don't need to kill. And it's almost guaranteed that we get away. So here's Omar, and we're gonna see the power of Sorcerer in action. So Ophi is gonna be using these triple spells. And one of the reasons why these triple spells are so strong is that you have a damage cap in this game.
Ooh, endless items.
Yeah. Yeah, endless items is another thing that affects, like, it's like real-time routing you have to do. Basically, so whenever you get an endless items proc, it means you use an item, but you don't consume it. So it means whenever you proc an important item, you should take note, because you now have an extra of that item.
Oh yeah, something pointed out in chat is that one of the nice reasons for Ophi being the sorcerer is the fact that her base SP is the highest. And because we are going to be burning through SP quite a bit, like Anchor mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we are not at the real high consumption yet, but we'll get it. We're gonna get there. Meanwhile, we are starting Treasure Tree and continuing Therion 2 for like half a minute again. we swear that Therion 2 will be completed one day. In Treasure 2 we buy an elemental shield. We need to buy a quest, like a shield for a quest, like her main quest. So we buy an elemental shield as well. So we are piling up even more defensive gear. And it'll be important later. Just as you saw in the Dry-Sang fight, it's very important that we have exactly the right amount of defense. So once again in Therion 2 we end up in an awkward spot, so we just steal the thing we came to steal and we warp out. And then conveniently we were also in an awkward spot in Treasure Tree, so now we get to warp back to the entrance of Victor's Hollow, which is a lot closer to where Treasure was supposed to go. So once again, the TP routing showing its efficiency. Alright, there's a few cutscenes in Treasure Tree. Teppo is also there right now. When we go to Therion 2 once again, we're gonna be seeing some steals. Oh, and he's not buying the elemental shield. Teppo only bought the quest shield.
Aha.
And we're gonna steal some money items and a Curious Bloom from that guy before doing the quest steal. And we're also gonna inquire a curious antique that sells for, I think, 8,000.
One nice thing with this
more.
part of
It's
Therion Chapter
9.5.
2 is that all the NPCs gather there at the plaza, so they're all nicely packed.
Yeah, but the downside is that if you forget to do something and then they move around for each state of his quest, then you're like, wait, where is this guy?
Yeah, where is he now?
Yeah, so Quadra is now in the infamous Treasure Tree cave. But once again, because this is Galdi, we can just kill this fight. And he's killing it with Windstone L and a Holy Light. It's probably because I think the encounter doesn't die. Oh wait, he didn't have SP to kill the encounter. That's why. Yeah, I was thinking maybe. I'm pretty sure that encounter dies. Alright, we're gonna find our next donor here, the Venomous Tooth Tiger. This is a pretty simple fight, which is gonna use Alphon and Therion to break it with weapons. And this is a common theme in the run that we use Peacock Dance on Ophi at this point of the run with Tressa. And then, so once we break this guy, we whack him. Actually, we don't whack him with the Elemental Break Rod, because we don't need to. We break with Ophi instead. So Therion is free to do Armor Corrosive. And then we collect this Taiga. A nice thing about the current route is that previously the collect was 99%. Now it's 100.
Do you think Teppo is gonna have the 99?
Let's see. If he's on the older version, which I think it is, it looks like he might be on a version of the alteration. Actually, it's a mix because he did buy the sock rope, but he's doing some of the older things as well. So let's see. So there's nothing happening on the screen right now. So it's gonna have a lot of old man telling tales of his past, whatever. What old men do. I should know. Or let's see how Teppo handles this. Shut up, cutie. Leon is old. Okay, so this is definitely different because Teppo is using Ignis on turn 1. Whereas Quadrus Route defends with OP and uses Ignis on. Yeah, this is the old fight. We use Elemental Break Rod here, which means the collects 99%. Let's hope he actually gets to 99 and doesn't get trolled by the 1%.
Well, Teppo is on the team boost side of the stream, so yeah, it should work.
And then Alvin's gonna finish the fight again. So yeah, this is the old strat. Oh,
wait, did Teppo
did we get ranged or?
Teppo used Elemental Break again. Misclick.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stacks of Elemental Break. Yeah, misclicks happen when you try to just go as fast as you can.
And sometimes the game just drops inputs for reasons.
Yeah, or you just your finger just slips when you are supposed to press something, and then your muscle memory gets entirely confused.
This thing's weak to spear, right? Do we have 1,000 spears?
We do.
No, we should have.
Okay, Quad Race on Tressa 4. We bought some. I know we acquired some soul stones from a merchant.
That was just forcing it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good recovery.
So yeah, we acquired some soul stones, and we bought a really important item, unerring bracelet, that will increase the accuracy of a character by 50, and that basically guarantees some of the hits that we are about to take, that would otherwise have missed chances. And now Quad Race, this menu used to be a little bit earlier, but now we are picking up a shield in the sewers that is equipped in this menu to once again. Just piling up on the defensive gear. Quadra also picked up a Windell from the sewers because he used an extra in the Tressa tree and kind of when he didn't have the SP. Alright, so here is Quadra coming up on Esme, which is good redemption for the single story runners because in this run, Esme is completely free. There is no risk of anyone dying. And we use, once again, Peacock Strat on Ophi. Elemental Break. We boost it this time because we need it to last 3 turns. Then just we palm Ophi so she'll have more BP to cast boosted spells. And at this point we are hitting close to the same damage as Vets do with the spells. We're not quite there yet, but we are close. And that also shows you why it's important that it's 3 hits, because she's already doing like almost 8k a hit. And the cap is 999, as is tradition for RPGs. So if she was using a single target skill, she would just be hitting the cap and not getting past it. Right, and that's Tressa 1 for Quadra, which means he's gonna get a nice 8-minute break.
Yep.
Because you cannot skip the credits in this game. And you have to watch them when you finish the story of your starting character. And
Does
after you do that, you are unlocked from having them in your party. So after this, we are able to remove Tressa. Not that we would do that ever, actually. But it's possible now. And Teppo is also acquiring some soul stones from the market. So nice thing about, of course, the fact that we are killing so many things is that we are now reasonably higher level. Allows Therion to steal things that have a higher chance than 3%. And that's also another thing about having Ophi as the sorcerer, is that her guide ability gives us guaranteed guides. So if you have Cyrus Sorcerer, then you have to use Prim's guide, Prim's allure instead, to guide a lot of the NPCs, and those are chance-based, so you will have more rolls that can fail. So that's another nice thing about Ophi, is that once you are the correct level with Ophi, you can just know you will guide the NPC. And Teppo is picking up the Force Shield here, so this is definitely a mix of like the old and the new route, because the old route didn't pick up the shield, but the new one does. While we are on this topic of why just like generally our choices, the reason we move Ophi to the first slot in one of the earlier menus is that the game has really curious targeting cursor. So when you defend in this game, the targeting cursor resets to the default position on the side that was last used. So for instance here, when now we have attacked last. So if we would defend here and there were multiple targets, it would reset to the default position on the enemy side. But what's more common is that we reset the party cursor on our side when we defend. And because the first slot is the default, putting Ophi in the first slot makes it so that we can always just spam the skills without having to recheck that the targeting is where we want it to be. Because Ophi is the target of buffs like 98% of the time. So it just, we move her to the first position because A, it's just faster, and B, you just have less mistakes that way. Teppo's Ophi is doing less damage, by the way. So there's a route difference here. At least I hope it's a route difference and not. Yeah, it is a route difference.
Is the difference big enough that it is something other than just levels?
It pretty much has to be. I'm not sure what the difference is though, because these guys are so good at menuing that it's really hard to see what their menus actually do. You have to pay really close attention to the menus if you want to see. What they're doing. And if you want to actually like take notes from their runs, you definitely have to run the WOD at half speed. We actually have known how the cursor works for a few years now. I don't remember who figured it out, maybe it was Zero. But there was a discussion in the Discord a few years ago about how the targeting cursor works. And it's really cursed in Octo1, and you cannot turn it off. Even if you don't have memory cursor on, the targeting cursor always has memory. And it also persists through loads. So if you are not on the default position on a save that you play, and you load another save, it's still not on the default position. This is something that sometimes trips up runners who grind Tressa starts, because it has two bosses. And once you start killing Mac, then your target's gonna be on Mac by default, and then if you just mash like you used to, your first trade win is gonna hit Mick. Alright, Sasu's taking a short BRB, and once he's back, I will be grabbing more water as well. But while we are here, we can enjoy the credits that are rolling pretty much at the same time. For like running purposes, these credits are actually pretty nice because you get just this 8-minute break in the middle. Well, it's not exactly in the middle. There's like 2 hours of run left at this point, and we are about like 1:20-30 in normally and on good pace. And the whole run's like 3:30-ish, depending on how good you are. These guys have PBs of like 325, 324 and 326. So they have really, really strong runs in this category. Yeah, this was a Tressa single story run. We're gonna be moving on to what was next? Yeah. So after the credits, we're gonna be having some amount of what I would call cleanup. So we do a couple of chapter 2s that are quite fast to do. And then we start recruiting new people. Because we are now in the stage of the run where we do have the tools to clear most of these chapter like story bosses quite fast. And we're just gradually building up EXP and JP to get even stronger. So now we are basically starting to clean up some stories we haven't touched yet, just to get fast kills for more EXP and JP.
Do you need to take a quick break?
Yeah,
Also,
I'll
anyone in
take a
chat,
break.
this is an excellent time to take a break. Go stretch your legs, get some more water, go to the bathroom. I'm sure the runners are doing the same. It's been mentioned a couple times already, but Octopath 1 Galdera is a nice category because there's a forced break in the middle like this, since you can't do anything here. No break in the glitched version? Can you just skip the credits? That's cheating. You can't do that. So we're doing an audio swap here, so let us know if the audio is okay. Or rather, the volume. Credits music. Sorry. Okay, and now we get to see Quadra start up. We're getting straight into Alpin's chapter 2, which we did half of previously. Let's see, I think there's a chance to get an encounter on this screen as well. It doesn't have much value because we are at a level where these lower level encounters don't really give that much. Running through this cave as well. I think you can get an encounter right before the boss.
Yeah, I got it in the Alpha.
Oh, that is true.
And but if we got it here, we're just gonna flee, guaranteed, because we have so high levels and evil ward.
Yeah.
This is one of the cleanup fights. We just buff up Ophi so she can sweep the odds with a Glacius Galdera. And then... Do we need to break the boss? Yeah. I think we do, yeah. We're still not quite strong enough to kill bosses without breaking them. But basically we are just doing more Ignis here. Sweep up the bosses. After this... After this chapter is done, we actually have to run outside the town.
Alright, we get more side questing.
Yeah, when we were in Grandport, we bought the Lapis Lazuli, which we now need to give to Kit to continue his quest. So his quest... So he's basically... So Kit's quest, I guess we can cover it real quick. He's looking for his father, and he basically wants to join this traveling theater group to travel the world so he can get clues about his father. And then this part is the last part of his journey.
Yeah, he's been tasked with painting the...
No, I think it's like he wanted to show gratitude to the group because he's leaving them, but he just like as a show of gratitude, he paints them like a new sign.
Yeah, and that's why we need the Lapis Lazuli for the blue color.
So now that we are basically just in need of JP and EXP, and generally we are completing objectives, and one of the objectives is to complete all the stories, so we are actually picking up Cyrus now. And we're going to be doing 3 of these chapters back to back. One of the reasons we are routing it this way is that whenever you recruit a character, you get a full heal. So basically, we didn't level up from Vanessa probably, so we are low in SP, but if we recruit Cyrus, we get a full heal without needing to go to the menu to heal. And that's actually also really clever part in the routing, because in the past you needed to buy more plums just to cover the SP needs. But now you have like better routed free SP heals. So we need to heal less SP manually.
Nice turn. Rip Russell.
Yeah, Russell is a chapter 1 boss at this point. He's basically a mouse, and we are a rampaging elephant. And this also gives us just more progress towards Cyrus. So we gave Cyrus the what I like to call the new Traveler starter kit. So we optimize them with the defensive gear and give them the HP necklace to give them 1k extra HP. And that way we don't have to worry about them dying in fights, despite them being really low level compared to our main crew. Because this game doesn't have any kind of EXP share, so if characters are not used, there's gonna be level 1. Of course, all the characters are gonna get some levels because we have to complete their chapters. But it does mean they mostly cannot be dead for their own chapters. So if someone dies in a fight, we would have to rest them. And that's why we just give them a whole bunch of defense so they don't die. And here is Cyrus chapter 2. Saw it in the relay. We don't need a Windham at this point. We're just gonna... It's there, but we're just gonna walk right past it.
And also, fun fact for the quiz that's coming up in the chapter. It's all 2s, because we're doing chapter 2.
Gasp.
Yeah, chapter 3 is also going to be all 3s.
But chapter 4 is not all 4s.
What? They had to mix it up a little.
Here's another screen where if you are really unlucky, you can get an encounter. But because we are, again, high level and we have Evil Ward, we can just flee. This screen is annoying to get an encounter in, though, because it breaks when you get one and die.
Wait, does the game just softlock, or how did
No, it doesn't like break, but the camera is fixed, and you have to walk back a little bit to reset the camera so that it moves again.
I see.
And that adds steps, so your risk of getting a new encounter is increased.
That's first.
Yeah, Cyrus is basically doing nothing here. He just defends. We don't have any use for him.
He's here to watch.
He's gonna be used in his chapter 3 fight, though. But OP is just destroying these bosses right now. Yeah, we are not gonna BG in this run. Alright, let's see if Depot is gonna be... There's a one nut that we're gonna be... that we might steal in Cyrus 2 if it's based on the old route. There's a nut that is on the way from Odette's house, on that lady that Quadrus is past.
It's a crit nut, if I remember correctly.
Maybe.
Where's it?
I think it's fourth, maybe.
She might have both. I don't know. Somehow, bingo knowledge somewhere in the back of my brain is telling me that that's what she has. Anyway, speaking of BG, how did the Cyrus run go yesterday? If anyone in chat knows.
Chat has to tell us because I was soundly sleeping.
Same.
Alright, we are in Cyrus 3 now. We have more inquiries to do. And while we are doing those, we're gonna also buy steal a soul stone. Of course, Boost got first try.
Okay, but did Uno BG with Prim?
Alright, so here's the promised fire L we stole because we just needed more stones. A lot of the stones are gonna go towards Hani's chapters because once again she has a bunch of mandatory provokes where you cannot use her own skills or weapons or anything. You're supposed to use the summoned beast, but ain't no one got the time to capture them. So we just gotta go with items, and so stones are useful for that.
If you really want to think about it as if we were using monsters, it's like we're using Pokemon who just use explosion.
Yeah. And so here we steal a couple more stones. I didn't pay attention to the Teppo screen whether he got the nut or not. Oh, he might get it after this boss too. Let's see. We might also see a slightly different fight. I'm not sure if it was different. It could have been different. Maybe we can barely get to see how this version of Gideon goes before we get to Ivan, who is one of the most consistent roadblocks in Octopath runs. Alright, we go to Ivan now on Quadra stream. Ivan is nasty because of the two ads in this fight. They have a chance to use Tornado, which is a pretty strong wind attack that hits all of your party. And in a lot of runs, that can just destroy you if you have bad turn order or if they just do it too many times. But we do have enough stats in this route that we don't have to worry about it. In the previous version of the route, I think it's still possible to die here.
That's so much damage.
And also, one neat thing about this route is that in this fight in the past, and still in some instances, you defend with Cyrus on turn 1, and then you have the triple staff on turn 2 to break, and he has a chance to miss. He needs to miss 2 times for it to be a problem, but it has happened to me. But the new route actually allows you, if Therion's before Ophi on turn 2 naturally, you don't need to defend with Therion, you can just stab once, and then Cyrus needs to only do 1 hit, and we can do the 1 hit with a Soulstone. Also, we used to collect Ivan, which made the fight trickier if you missed, for instance, or someone died. It was a lot slower to recover. So now that we don't collect Ivan, it's a lot smoother to fix the fight. Plus, it doesn't go wrong as much. And we gotta see what Teppo's doing in the Ivan fight soon. Meanwhile, we're going to recruit Hanit in our Quadro stream.
Wait, also on Teppo's side, he did not get the extra nut. At least not after Odette.
Okay. Maybe he might have gotten it before, but I didn't pay attention. Or he just doesn't get it. So we are basically now done with Cyrus for quite a while. He had his time to shine. And we're going to be picking up Hanit here. Picking up Hanit here has a couple of benefits besides just, of course, progressing her story. So, besides Skid's questline, we also have to do Alphas's questline to unlock the final boss.
Alright, true.
And part of that questline is a mandatory provoke fight that's in Boulderfall. So we pick up Hanit here so she can do the provoke fight once we are progressing Therion's story. Because whenever you complete Therion's chapter, it puts you at the entrance of Boulderfall. And that basically means we save a screen transition or a warp. Yeah, no one's ever done Hanit 1 in this chapter, in this marathon. So here's Kisama, the easy way. If Ophi goes first, you have to use a Soul Stone. Otherwise, you just give Ophi BB and she can kill Kisama with just spells. But if she goes first, she has to use the right element, and then you have to supplement the damage with a Soul Stone.
Does the knowledge stuff give speed, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, the knowledge stuff gives speed. That's one of the reasons it's good, except speed is...
fake stat.
Speed is definitely a stat in this game.
So yeah, that's a reason.
It is a stat that has effects.
Yeah, Ophi is kind of likely to go first thanks to that. She's probably faster than Therion and everyone else at this point.
Yeah, he going first, likely, yes.
Yeah.
While we are seeing Therion go. Yeah, this is the old version of the fight, because Therion is PP boosting Ophi on turn 1 instead of having the chance to dagger. And yeah, we also are on the old route, so we can get the double tornado unlucky.
Ooh, Therion's dead.
I'm not actually sure if you can die to double tornado on the new route, actually, because I haven't got it in practice. But yeah, this is why Ivan just always sucks. It's doubly sad that it happens to Teppo, because his comment on his PB run on SRC is Ivan is too strong. So he had problems in this fight in his PB run as well, so Ivan just keeps haunting him.
It looks like he's extending the fight.
I mean, he has to collect as well. This is the old Ivan fight.
Mm-mm. Is it always 2 breaks in the old
Yeah,
round?
it's 2 breaks.
Ah, okay.
Meanwhile, Quadro's heading to Therion 2. We're finally finishing Therion 2, by the way.
I forgot we still have that.
He also got an encounter that is quite likely. You can load an autosave inside the mans to prevent it.
Yeah, the mansions are interesting that they don't reset your step counter when you enter a different room.
Yeah, it's based on screen names, and in other dungeons the screens have different names, but manses do not. So Han is taking a little nap here. This is completely fine. She doesn't need to get the JP or EXP from this fight. So if Han is taking a nap here, it just means we don't need to skip her turns. She doesn't do anything in this fight.
So what I'm hearing
but it does mean
this
we
is
have to
optimal.
rest her later. But it's still nice that you don't have to rest her during the battle. Yeah, Tressa also has the rune knife equipped that we got from Esmeralda. And she does just a little bit of extra damage here to make sure that OV hits the damage range for the kill. This is done a couple of times in the run where some character uses some random boss drop weapon just to do like 1,000 extra damage to guarantee a kill. And here Quadra is now going to do the provoke. And in order to do that, you have to rest Hani here. But as you can see, it's quite a fast menu to do so. Okay, Teppo did survive Ivan despite the difficulties, which is nice to see. So we are still like separated by one chapter. Although, yeah, he's actually also doing old order of stories here. So he's doing Therion 2 first, and then going to pick up Hanit. Which also does make use of the Therion finish chapter get to Boulderfall thing.
Alright, because you spawn outside, right?
Yeah.
So it's a shorter trip over to Hanit.
Yeah. Well, it saves a warp because I don't think you spawn outside, you just spawn at the entrance. But you don't have to warp there. And here we are doing some equipment management on Quadra's side. We can do that on the tavern as well. So a couple of times in the run we do equipments in the tavern, because that allows you to do equipment for every character, not just the 4 you have in your party.
Ah, that's actually a neat detail.
Yeah, and we use it there exactly to unequip Cyrus and move the defensive gear on. Well, we don't move it to Hanit yet, but we do unequip it from Cyrus. We actually get Alphen back in the team now, because we are gonna do some Therion chapters, and basically whenever we are doing chapters of our main dudes, Tressa, Ophi, and Therion, we generally want to have Alphen there, because he's just the most useful. Or whoever needs JP and EXP. But then we are just kind of... Alphen's in the rotating door slot, where we put the character whose story we are doing for almost entirely of the run. Actually, that is exactly how it is now. I think there might have been in the past some instance where someone else was not in. I don't remember exactly.
Nice damage on Teppo's side.
Yeah. We are clearing up, so he's gonna be picking up Hanit now. We are doing we started Alphen 3, and once again, because we are stuck in a bad position on the upper screen of Saint Spreads, we're just gonna warp to do Therion 3 instead. So we started Therion 3 earlier, and now, because that chapter also has this awkward, you have to walk back to the town. So we just actually warp to do Alphen 3 start first, and then we come to continue the Therion 3 story. Because we are not gambling for the 3% mask steal.
What?
That Lax Lime got in the single story real life. It was a real gamer moment. And also shout out to Alta, who also got it, I think, in some marathon.
I think I remember that actually.
Alright, we got an unlucky encounter on the way to Hani. Teppo scream. Meanwhile, Ophi is showing some light to these bandits.
It's not even a sorcerer spell.
Yeah. They die just to luminescence. It's the basic AoE light spell from Cleric.
Meanwhile, Teppo is picking up on it.
Yeah, and Teppo has to do a double character swap there because he's picking up on it at this point. That's a small optimization with Quadra's new route is that you don't need to swap. You basically don't need to do one character swap at all. Because what Teppo is now having to do is that he has to have Alphen and Hanit in the party. Because he wants to go do the same thing Quadra's doing, so start Therion tree, then start Alphen tree, and he wants to do the Alpha's provoke before that. So he has to have Hanit and Alphen in the party, so he has to swap Hanit back out in the tavern when starting Therion tree. And that's actually the case where we actually do swap Tressa out for a really short period of time. So in the old route, Tressa was swapped out for this few minutes of the run.
Rip Gareth.
Yeah, Gareth just dies, unlike other categories where he's pain. And once again, we are using the fact that Therion chapter puts at the entrance of Boulderfall, and we're gonna run back all the way to the bottom screen to steal this man's nut. So that's Omar, who we killed didn't kill in Tressa 2, which is defeated, because he is very much alive. And he has a magic nut and a death cleaver. We don't get the cleaver because we already have one from the Everhold tunnels, but we do want the magic nut. And now we are doing a second part of Alphas' quest, so he's having some problems with love. He's falling for someone
He's still chasing Lilac.
Yeah, he's chasing the wrong skirt. So we're gonna just set him up with someone else for his own benefit.
Yeah, we take his poem and give it to some girl who likes poems or something.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So we do it basically while we are also doing Alphen trees, because they just happen to be kind of along the same route. So we're just being efficient again. Speedrunners being efficient.
What? More likely than you'd think.
Yeah, so now we finished the quest, and this means that we have finished the side quests that we need to unlock the final boss. And Quadra fails the first path action for his run. There's an 80% steal for the Shadow L, and he fails it. And now we're gonna buy battle-tested staff from this bishop, which is the strongest staff in the game. It gives us, I think, 420 elemental attack. And once we have it, we're gonna be heading for one of the trickiest fights in this run. This is Theora. That's going to be our second advanced job that we're going to be getting. And unlike Drysang, that was a completely scripted fight, this one does have adaptation that you have to do based on your turn 1 turn order, as well as what kind of shields and weaknesses Theora has on the second break.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. Did Quadra talk to the lady outside the cathedral? I don't think he did.
I'm not sure either. Because I do it first.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he just took the stone and then went inside.
That could be a problem for him. Well, he will notice, at least. He might not notice until the Taiga, actually. Because if you don't do it, the impresario is not gonna be in that spot where you expect.
Anyway, Steora.
Yeah, Steora, the thing about Steora is exactly this. So on first turn, she'll do one thing, which is if you don't have buffs on you, she'll do a counterattack buff on herself. If you have buffs, she will erase your buffs. And then she will attack one person and confuse them. And your turn order basically determines how you recover from that. Because you also need to delay her with like Hold Trap or a Curious Bloom. This is one of the instances where the optional Curious Bloom use will come into play. So if you have a turn order where you cannot like hold with Tressa, you'll instead use a Curious Bloom Concoct to delay. And Quadra seems to be in the clear here. So we got through the first break without problems. So we were able to heal the person who got confused, and we were also able to organize our turn order so that Cleric Therion goes before Ophi on turn 2. And I guess that's a good time to talk about Alfred's, because that skill is very busted.
Yeah,
Maybe you can cover that.
Cleric. So, Cleric doesn't have much going for it outside of its divine skill, which is Aelfric's Auspices, I think is the name. And when you give the buff to a character, they effectively double the spell or ability that they're using. So Ophi will be using Ignis Ardere twice here with one cast. It doesn't cost you extra SP to do it either, so it's just double value. Extremely strong. Effectively a 2x damage buff.
Yeah, that just costs you some animation times, of course.
Yeah.
But with it, Ophi can do 60,000 damage in this fight. And as you can see, she is hitting the damage cap now. And that's something we are gonna be needing to fix next. Because 60k ain't gonna cut it either. And we got the Starseer job, which is the least impressive of all the secret jobs. But it has some really good passives. First of all, it has JP boost, so we get even more JP. We get another 50% more. It's additive, so we get double. And then it also has BP boost, or boost start. Yeah, I think Quadra realized now that he didn't do it, and we're just doing it now. Alright, so Quadra is not gonna find out in like hour and something. He found out now. So yeah, the Starseer boost dot passive gives you an extra BB at the start of the battle, which is huge. Because what it means is that you can use a fully boosted thing on turn 2. And the divine skills that the jobs have that will, like the Alfred's Auspices, they can only be cast at full boost. So once Therion has boost start, he doesn't need a BB from anyone else. He just can always do it on turn 2. We don't quite have the JP to give him boost start yet, because he spent a whole lot of JP on learning Alfred's. So for now, we still have to manage our fight so that Therion gets a BB from someone. Oh, Quadra getting an unlucky encounter again. What a surprise.
And it includes a lizard.
Yeah, the cringe lizard is back to haunt him. But this time he can just flee because he doesn't need the rewards for that fight.
Starseer does have hard worker as well, which gives you the 50% JP.
Yeah, I did. It was mentioned earlier. Yeah. We got just sidetracked talking about something else before we moved on to boost start. It also has BP Eater, which increases damage of skills based on how many BB you use. So you get even more damage.
As long as you boost, you just get a flat 50% boost. It doesn't matter how many boost points you use.
My math has been corrected. So here's first boss that we don't need to even break. We slap him with the wind for 999 anyway. That's how much damage Ophi is doing now that she has the PT staff. And all the levels and all the other gear that we have piled up on her. Plus she has... Yeah, because we also teach her more sorcerer skills. So she now has all the sorcerer passives that also increase her damage. So one of them is just a flat increase to damage. The magic one increases your damage you do when you hit a weakness. And then one of them is what makes the SP routing even trickier is that it doubles the SP cost of everything. But it also increased the damage by a lot. Is it double or 1.5 in this game? I forgot. It's different between.
Yeah, I mentioned it's or 1.5 because that's a lot of the boosts, but I can check.
Yeah.
It's price of power.
Yeah, price of power is the English name. Well, in the meanwhile, we'll see how Stera goes for Teppo here. This is looking a little rough. Because if Ophi gets confused here, it's gonna be annoying because no one can heal. I don't think you wanna do that. Okay. That should be fine. So what happened here is that Teppo prevented the confusion by using Alphon's Concoct that gives everyone 1 turn of vaccination. So it prevents all status effects. But the downside is that if Steora has not yet done her buff move, she will instead erase the buffs from one of your characters and make them unable to get buffs. So it's a bit of a gamble, because if that hits Ophi, the fight's just over. But it went to Therion, so we don't care. Because we're only buffing Ophi. But we did miss doing 1 shield of break, so we didn't quite get through this in one piece. So you need to do... in order to break this fight, you need to do Elfric's boosted Ignis to get Shik Seals down. And then Tressa needs to do hired help mercenaries to get one of the shields down. I don't know. I did not see what Teppo did.
He's thinking.
Yeah, I think it's a little off the rails because he had to do the deal, he had to break with boosted Ignis after taking an extra hit from the boss. So hopefully it's still fine. He's missing us a little bit of damage because one of the Ignis hits. He's still fine for the break, and he got the 8 shield version. Which version Quadro got, by the way? Did you pay attention?
I was not paying attention at that point.
So basically this boss can have 4, 8 or 12 shields. If it's 4, you have the fastest fight. You can just break with Tenebrae. If you get 8, you have to add some lightning hits from someone else. It's Alphen. Please, you have to give BP to Ophi. Okay, that's fine. Alphen's gonna do the lightning hits with the Concoct. Oh, Ophi also doesn't have SP. I hope he notices.
Meanwhile, Quadro.
Oh yeah, he has to reapply his buffs because he missed. He had to take an extra turn to break.
Oh, true. Oh yeah, shout out to Show Goes On, which is the first passive skill you get from Dancer, which also extends the duration of divine buffs.
Yeah, that's really important. Okay, Teppo got through with some adaptation. That looked a little rough, and he got really lucky because if Ophi was anywhere but last on the last turn, he did not have it. Because he needed to give Ophi BB, he needed to give Ophi Alfrex and SP.
SP, yeah. Alright, so going briefly back to the price of power thing. It's called Elemental Aid in Octopath 1, and the boost is 50%.
Okay.
So we were correct. On everything except the name.
Really?
It's called
Elemental
Elemental
Aid.
Aid.
Wait, but there's 3 passives. One is Strongest Strikes, one is Elemental Aid. What's the last one then?
Intimidation is the first one.
No, but
So
the one
Intimidation,
more.
Stronger Strikes, Elemental Aid, and Augmented Elements.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Which is just flat elemental.
Augmented Elements is the first. Okay, yeah, I messed up. Because I don't play any English. Alright, so meanwhile, while we were checking how Teppo's doing with Steora, Quadra killed the Ogre Eagle. And he's now headed for the 3rd secret job shrine, which is Winnehild, who guards the arms, the War Master job, which is basically the physical damage sorcerer. So the job that's specialized in physical damage.
A bit more underwhelming in general, but does a really good job with what it's good at.
Yeah, well, it's mostly underwhelming because magic is so much stronger in this game.
There's so many ways to boost magic damage.
Yeah, and magic does 3 hits for a lot of skills. So one thing Quadra did in the menu just now, he learned the surpassing power passive on Ophelia from Warrior, and this allows Ophi to do more than 999 damage, up to like quintuple nines, which we are not going to be reaching, by the way. We're going to be seeing some pretty nice damage numbers here.
Poison Alpin, is that a problem?
Yeah, you have to heal the poison, otherwise... Okay, this is gonna reset the fight. It was probably doable, but it's tricky. Oh, yeah, actually it might not be doable because Alphen was after OP, and you have to... you must hit Glacius with OP on turn 1, and so you cannot heal the poison from Alphen on turn 1 with that. And I think then he also needed to do with something else with Alphen, so you can't also.
Yeah, so apparently Therion and Tress are the two who could do something on turn 1, but since Therion already shackled.
Yeah. Yeah, the poison on Winnehild is sometimes just really tricky to deal with. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes you just get someone created into low HP and they get poisoned, and then it's annoying. So now he got a different turn order. See, he used the Curious Bloom that delays the boss. Works like Black Hole, so it puts them at last in the turn queue, and Alphen got poisoned again. But now it's not a problem because Therion has a free action here.
Yeah. And we get the endless item proc. Massive.
Yeah, on the healing, herb healing. Let's go. You don't wanna do the break with the break rod if possible, because it can mess. But he had no choice there. Ideally, someone else breaks. And now you can see some damage. So we're gonna do Elfrix and Elephants. So Elephants is the Sorcerer Scholar Divine skill. It turns your AoE skills into single target, but it doubles their damage. And there's some damage. So now this secret boss just melts.
Thanks to getting surpassing power from the warrior, we can now break the damage cap as well.
Yes,
You might
and
have
we
covered
have
that
now,
in the
basically we have the holy trinity of damage. We have surpassing power, we have Elfrix, and we have Elephants. Plus all the sorcerer passives as well, of course, to increase damage. And all the rather overpowered gear we have been piling up. And now we are going to the last secret job, which is the Rune Master.
Rune Lord?
Rune Lord.
Is it
Okay.
master
Yeah.
in
Once again,
Japanese?
I don't know the English names. Before going there, we learn a couple of skills from War Master on Therion, because the first passive you get on War Master is increased EXP. So we're going to be getting 50% more EXP now. And we'll put it to good use immediately, because we usually get this encounter here. And we're just going to kill it for EXP. And another convenient thing about it is that you get a level up there. So even if you didn't level up on Winterhild, you're guaranteed to get full SP again, basically. Alright, that boy is fighting the Ogre Eagle. It's one of the few Chapter 4 bosses that have some adaptation to it. So here we have to make sure that Therion's going before Ophi on turn 2 and has the extra BB, which he does. Yeah, he's spending a little bit of time thinking of Q. I think it's fine. Now that we have all the OP stuff that we need to kill these bosses fast, the Balagar fight is the most scripted of all the secret job fights. This is 100% scripted. So all he does is the single target attack on turn 1. And then we just set up a break with Tressa on turn 2. The only thing you have to worry about now is the turn 3 turn order. Because we have to have Therion and Tressa before Ophi. And as you can see there, that's not the case. But Alphen has a solution for that as well. He has a concoct that allows you to move someone to the beginning of the queue in turn order. So we use the concoct here if Tressa is, or if Tressa or Therion is after OP. Actually, I think only Tressa can be, because Therion can defend. But Tressa has to break on turn 2, so she cannot defend. So we use Alphen's concoct to fix the turn order instead.
This looks unfair.
It's completely fair at this point. So yeah, Quadra has used at least 2 Curious Blooms, so he has to take that into account. Now that we are done with the hard challenges, we're actually gonna downgrade some of our gear just to give Ophi more speed, because we trust in speed. That we trusted speed is a good stat, and it completely works in this game.
Always.
You can count on speed. There's no sarcasm in my voice when I say that.
Wait, what's this? A new character?
Oh yeah, we find a new character as well. We find Albury finally. We're gonna get revenge on Archibald soon. So yeah, we put knowledge stuff back on Ophi just to make her faster. Because there's a couple of fights that are, at this point we are so strong that we just want Ophi to go first, so we kill them instantly. This fight actually diced even to Fireball from Tressa. Because she has the rune knife, it gives her elemental attack. So you can actually just Fireball or Lightning Blast like stuff down there. I'm pretty sure it actually dies to boosted Fireball. You don't even need to do like a double spell. And then Gaston just explodes as well. We just hope Ophi is first, so we can just blow him up real quick.
Before doing a big menu before winning for the surpassing power.
Oh wait, Ignis kills it now, right? In the past you had to do Tonitrus to get enough damage, because that's his weakness. But it looks like Ignis now does enough damage. Okay, so Quadra did confirm in chat that he would have had an out, but he didn't figure it out. It happens, even to the best runners. These games are just really good at throwing you in awkward positions. And Teppo is also having some of
Poison
his
hit
own here.
Varian, so he should be fine,
Yep.
right?
Varian
Sort of
is
HP.
poisoned. He only has 1 tick of poison left, so he's not gonna die. And Teppo also had to break with the break rod, but it hit, so it's all fine. I don't
Quadro
think
gets
you
to the
need to
ornament
heal poison there, but it doesn't matter because Therion's before OP anyway. So if OP is last on turn 3 here, you have a lot of free actions that you can do to fix things. But we really cannot count on it because, again, speed is a stat that completely does what you'd expect in this game.
And I guess we aren't collecting anymore. We just
Yeah, we
use
don't.
our big damage skills.
Yeah, we don't really have time to collect anymore. Because we just want to do these fights fast. And we
Also
don't
on-
want to spend time on collect.
On Quadra's side, we are having some very honorable duels.
Yes, this is we are really proving the power of our wallet here. That's how all Ulbrich fights. So
It's the
we are
wallet
so
warrior.
rich at this point that we just pay like 30k to win these duels in one hit. Instead of bothering to equip Ulbrich with some of the powerful armaments we have. Well, I guess we don't have a sword or a spear that he could use, so even if we wanted to do something like that, we don't really have the weapon to do it. Alright, and Archibald Revenge arc is coming up. There's another fight where we kind of don't want Ovi to go first because we want to boost her DP by 1 so she can just kill the fight instantly. If Ovi goes first, you gotta use a Windal to make up the damage that you lose from just double boosting the Aventus. And after this fight, we go back to the BT stuff because the knowledge stuff isn't quite doing enough damage for us. And we also... Ulbrich's tanky enough that we don't need to give him the HP necklace, so he just gets optimized here. And he's gonna be fine for these battles.
Yeah! Shout out to the big fan in the crowd.
Yeah, the Joshua fans are going wild. They're gonna be super disappointed real soon, though.
Joshua, no!
Oh, Teppo's got into an encounter in the Balaka shrine and didn't break the... What are these called again?
Remnants, I think?
I don't remember, but yeah, it was the wrong element, I think, or didn't break them. Holy, that was like one step away from the Alto 2, that's so
That is so unlikely.
Okay, revenge time.
Let's see how Archibald does.
Yeah, there he goes. Didn't cause us too many deaths this time.
Oh, he got depression.
But he does get his move off usually, at least.
Mm.
He acts quite early in the turn order. Ah,
I
okay,
do
so
think
it's...
the encounter was intentional.
Yeah, he was behind on JP, I guess. QT is having flashback from last night.
Yeah, it really is that easy. Just get Sorcerer and a lot of magic equipment and...
Yeah, just do a 2R Ulbrich run where you go get Drysang and like a small army's worth of gear. It's that easy. This fight is a little varied based on turn 1, turn order once again. If Ophi goes first, you gotta do Glacius boosted once to kill the odds, and then you have to use Elfrix on turn 2 to have enough damage for the loss.
The
And
sorcerer
after we
damage
are done
numbers
with
are so
that, we are once again in an awkward position on the wrong screen in a town, so we warp out to do stuff. And the stuff we do is we're gonna buy a nut and then steal more soulstones. These are mostly for harness chapters.
a nice 100%.
Yeah, they are 100% now, which is nice. The other nice thing about getting these soulstones now, we used to get them earlier, but then you have to pay real close attention to what stones you're using, because some of those stones are the elements that Hanit needs, so you must not use them. But now we are picking them up this late, so we don't run into the problem of accidentally using them, because we are past the point of using
nice.
stones mostly. So that
Nice
was like a
adjustment.
thing in the previous route, that you had to pay really careful attention to what stones you're using in some parts of the run.
Yeah, I think there was some funny stuff happening in the ESA relay run that you did way back when. And on Quadra's team, it might have been Zonaris who used a stone he's not supposed to use.
Sonaris probably used a stone that he was not supposed to.
Yeah, he just looked back at Quadra and was like, that one was fun to use, right? And Quadra was not happy.
Yeah, we actually swap once again to the knowledge stuff, because now we just would prefer how to go fast again. These fights are just straight kills. And I think she's gonna be on the beat on the staff for a while, actually. Because we now have enough damage even without the BT staff for most of the story bosses that we are about to do here. We're basically in the big cleanup now. We more or less have everything we want. So we're just doing story chapters in rapid succession to complete the requirements for fighting Galdera.
We're just burning all these enemies on both sides.
Yeah, there's getting destroyed.
But I guess one slight detail to mention is that the fire spell, Ignis Ardere, has the fastest animation for Sorcerer, so we are going to be using that as much as possible.
Yes, if we can use that, we'll use that. It's also first in the list, which is just convenient for menuing. So we're gonna clear Olbrig's chapters first, and then we're gonna do Harnit's, and then we're gonna do Prems, and that's most of the stories. Then we just have after that we only have like Terion 4 and Cyrus 4 left. And one of the reasons we're doing those last is that Cyrus' last boss has 30 shields. So we're not breaking it, we're just gonna blast it through the shields. So we need to be at peak performance for that one. And can you guess why we're doing Terion's story last?
I wonder why.
Yeah, it puts us conveniently in Boulder Bowl.
It's
And
always
allows us to go to the last mandatory side quest. It's mandatory for fighting Galdera.
How tight is the Therion XP? Like, could you do the chapter earlier, technically, and still have a not 3%?
Oh yeah, that's the other reason, of course. Yeah, Terion needs to be quite high level to make the steel not 3%. We get it to 55 in this one, so yeah, that's of course the other reason.
Okay, so it would be at least 15 then, if you did it a bit earlier, I guess.
Yeah, 45 is the level you need to be to get it to 55. And 45 is pretty close to what we end up at before the big gauntlet. So we're getting some love for the Finnish accent on chat. Hell yeah. In case you're wondering what the accent is, it's Finnish.
I wouldn't call it entirely Finnish. If you want a real Finnish accent, you're going to have to look elsewhere.
Yeah. It's like the educated Finnish accent. It's the Finnish accent you have when you actually speak a lot of English. Anyway,
Back to game. We're doing Olberic
yeah,
chapters.
we are currently doing side quest. So this is one of the side quests that opens up when you do Tressa story. We meet this character in Tressa 2 and 3, I guess, and 4. So completing that quest, we don't complete it yet, we just start it. Because we need to guide an NPC in Marceline later back to that NPC to complete the quest. But once we do that, we get a spear that boosts wind damage. So if you have the spear equipped, you just get 30% more damage if you do anything to do with wind. And here Olberic is showing the power of his wallet again.
The Wallet Warrior is back.
Yeah, this time we're paying 60k to impress these rebels. And they are impressed. And we will also now have a menu where we continue the OV power-up arc. And we also now get boost start on Tressa as well. So we already have boost start on Therion, which we picked up for him in Olberic 2. So Teppo just menued it. And now Tressa gets boost start as well. Ovi also gets boost start for a bit, but she'll get rid of it later. But she also gets BB Eater now. So her spells once again do more damage. We also prepare Olberic for... We basically give Olberic the stuff he needs for the final boss. Which is, he needs to gain 4 skills from Merchant to get Hand Tough, which allows you to survive at 1 HP if you were not on critical HP. We also get him Warrior to get him cover. And then we put him on Thief. So he will have access to Armor Corrosive later. And he's gonna be so no one else is gonna use Thief from this point on. So Olb's is gonna be on Thief when we need him to. There's a small speedrunning detail. In Olb 4, when you get to the mansion, it's faster to walk back to the town and run to the other entrance. Because now it's open. But if you actually are behind on JP, you want to run through the mansion and get an encounter to catch up your XP or JP. But since Quadra is on the EXP route correctly, he doesn't need to do that, so he just walks to the town. And here's the horseman, the horse and the dude who's on the horse. The horse is kind of free in this run. The only thing you have to pay attention to is if someone gets feared, you might have to do some adjustments, but we didn't get any of that because he didn't even get to attack. And now you can see how easy it is when you have boost start on everyone. So we just defended with Therion and Tressa, and they just can boost Ophi with both Divines on turn 2, and we just explode this horse.
Or horse.
Or horse, yeah. Rest in peace, horse.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. It's technically less that we were doing when we were on Winter Hill, but we don't need as much. And the setup is faster, so we take the faster ones. So now we have completed Olb's story. And once again, this unlocks a side quest that gives us a very nice reward. So in order to do that, though, we're gonna take Ovi out of the party for a really short time. Oh, we actually... Okay. Yeah. I guess Quadra is having a muscle memory from the old route where we take out Therion instead of Ovi. We need Alphen to inquire this priest in the church here.
Okay, so the story here is that the priest from Ovi's chapters and then a commander from Olberic's story, they are old friends and they haven't been in contact for a while. So we're being a messenger between them.
Yeah, and as a reward we get Captain's Badge, which gives us 50% more EXP. And also conveniently, one NPC from Old Story is here, and he has the BT Blade, which is the strongest sword in the game. By a lot. And it's the strongest because it does have the physical damage buff, right?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, does it have it in this game?
It has to have it because we use dagger for damage. We don't use sword for damage. So it has a passive, when you have the sword equipped, it gives you just 30% more physical damage. Straight up. And funnily enough, physical damage is actually better at dealing AoE than magic, even though magic's like generally AoE. But because of elephants, magic becomes better at dealing single target, because it doubles the damage.
True.
Whereas the strongest physical skill in the game is just AoE straight up. Always. And it will be very useful when we finally get to the point where we need to use it.
So we're using Winnie Hild's war crimes, right? That's
Sure.
what we're talking about?
Of course. Alright, we are now doing Harness chapters, so we have been stockpiling these L-stones, and now we're gonna use them. So, like in the single story, this guy dies to 2 fire L-stones. Well, we used a different set of stones in the single story because we don't just have 2 L-stones, fire Ls specifically. But here, because we do have 2 fire Ls, we can do this with 2 rocks, with 3 rocks instead of needing 4. And Olbs, once again, just showing off his wallet to his old friend. And now we're gonna buy an interesting weapon from this guy here called the Double Tomahawk. It's a unique axe that, when you attack with it, it does 2 hits instead of 1. So if you fully boost your attacks and attack with the Tomahawk, it does 8 hits. And it just conveniently happens that one particular boss that has 8 shields is weak to axe, so one character with 1 fully boosted turn can just break that boss.
And also one thing to note, of course it's Archibald who has the axe.
Yeah, we bought his axe. Now he's not gonna be killing any more single story runners with it. Alright, here's the tree. In Galdera we just use 2 L stones in this tree, because we are swimming in them. Well, we're not swimming in them specifically, but we have access to enough L stones that it's faster to take an extra L than it is to throw an extra stone in this fight. And yeah, this is cleaning up Hanit's story now. We're going to Lord of the Forest. Funnily enough, we don't quite have enough damage to one-shot, so Therion has to poke it with a sword 3 times.
What sword does Therion have, or does he already have the...
He has the BT Blade. It's equipped in the previous menu, where we... The main goal of the menu is to put the Captain's Badge on Tressa and optimize Hanit so he has defensive gear. But we also put the BT Blade on Therion. Because he's gonna be using it for the rest of the run, anyway. Wait, he didn't die? Interesting. That's a new range I haven't seen.
Oh, the little guys also die when you kill the boss. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's convenient in the boss. So you don't have to kill the trees there. It's one of those bosses where the ads just die. Simeon is also. Simeon 1 is the same way. For me, it's actually more surprising when it's the other way around and I kill a boss and I'm like, wait, I have to kill the ad too. It's especially if you in Rogues, if you have problems with Orlick and he doesn't die and he gets to summon the armor,
Yeah, the Guardian
the
is
super
awful.
tanky armor, then you just kill Orlick and then the armor is just there like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, I'm also traumatized by Matthias. If he summons cultists, they just or they just stay.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true too. Alright, we're gonna go to Hani 3 now, where the chapter that all Hani single story runners have nightmares about. But as you can guess it, we are a little overpowered. And we have enough defenses, we don't need to worry about allied. Something cool does come up here that's not seen in a lot of runs. Hanit is equipping the Lizard King's axe at the moment. And the Lizard King's axe actually also has an element boost for your lightning damage. And if you have a boost for element, it actually also affects your soul stones. So we're gonna break alike and we're gonna see Hanit toss a Thunder L to do 7k damage here. Thanks to the axe that she's wearing.
That's a juicy boost. Oof, nice. I don't like the number, but it's nice to see that it's bigger than the usual 5.4k.
Yeah. It basically allows us to use one less Shadow M stone. And while we are not really starved on stones in general, we are still a little bit starved on Shadow stones, specifically. So it allows us to not worry as much about having 2 Shadow M stones that you need to have if you are doing a lot of the single story or even half game strats. Because we just don't have the axe in any other category conveniently available that would boost the damage for the soulstone.
Darien got terrored on Teppo's side, is that an issue?
You can heal it.
Ah, okay.
It's already broken.
Okay.
That fight generally has enough turns to take the terror off even if someone gets terrored. And even if you don't break, you can just use Tonitrus instead of Ignis on turn 2 to kill instead.
Okay.
So Oak it breaks it on turn 2 if you cannot break on turn 1.
Right now we get to the dragon. We saw the Quadras hop over to the double tomahawk on Hanit.
Alright, that's interesting. Yeah, if you don't have double tomahawk, then you have to use Holy Light with carry on, and then defend with Hanit and axe 3 times. I don't know why Quadra put the axe on. Maybe it's faster. If Quadra's doing it, I'm pretty sure he thinks it's faster. But that means you have to take the axe off of Hanit. Which actually not a big problem because we are unequipping Hanit in Hanit 4.
Oh yeah, there is an unequipable, that is true. Coming up.
So yeah, I guess it might be worth just putting the axe on Hanit, if you're fast at menuing at least.
Quadra was hesitating a bit in the menu, so not sure if it paid off in the end.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to ask him later about
Yeah, it's not in his notes, so
tomahawk.
that might be something he just thought of on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, here we swap armors around. This is actually, the swapping of armors around is like one of the hardest things to memorize in this run, in my opinion. Because it doesn't have like immediate need attached to it. Like, oftentimes if you're swapping equipment, like other equipments, you're seeing some really relevant number like HP or damage go up or down, and you know this is why you need it. But some of these armor swaps are like damage range optimizations that are not very visible. So it's harder to internalize them when you're learning the route. So you can't just have to hard memorize all the armor swaps. And here we're gonna guide Maruf. So this is the father of Ali, who we met in Tress's story and whose side quest we started maybe 10 minutes ago, 15. I don't know, time goes by when you're having fun. And basically we are once again guiding an NPC and taking them to a super dangerous dungeon because it's just more convenient that way. Yeah, so the Grimsand Ruins, or whatever this place was called, is... there's a couple of nice money chests, but we have enough money already, so we don't need it. Money is actually also something you have to route around a little bit when you're running this, because there's pretty sizable discounts that you can get from buying all the equipment at the late game. For instance, we didn't get the discount for the PT staff. So if you get a lot of discounts, there's a sell menu later that you can skip. If you are, if you're really lucky, you can get to skip the sell menu. That's about 10-ish seconds. But it's really convenient to place between two purchases. So when you do the first purchase, you can see how much money you have left, and you can instantly see if you need to do the sell menu or not. So you don't really have to track your money. You can just check it. And Quadra is skipping then. He was escaping the encounter there. And then, because he has enough JP and XP already. Because he has gotten all the unlucky extra encounters. And now he also got a comedian that, even if you wanted to kill the comedian, you don't want to. Because that's...
Yeah, he's big and fat.
That takes way too long.
HP, yeah.
We call them comedians. Which is sometimes confusing because we also call the cultists in OP4 comedians sometimes. But, you know, there can be more than one comedian in the world, right?
Yep.
Alright, we got the fast red eye because Hanit wasn't blinded. So she can just break with bow instead of having to use random arrows. Because the multi-hit skills that do upwards of 3 hits are not affected by accuracy at all. It's just completely random how many hits it's gonna do. It's just guaranteed to do 3. And that's basically what we count on for most of the time we use it. Alright, that's Hanit 4 down. Which leaves us with only one story that has not been touched at all yet, which is Prim. So, Prim and Joyous, now's your time.
Prim fans rise up.
Yeah, Prim's not gonna be around for long though.
And now we finish Ali's side quest there for the Tradewind Spear. Water side. And we pick up Prim.
Yeah. We got the spear from Alice quest. We're not gonna be equipping it yet, because Ophi cannot use spears. Spoiler alert, someone else is gonna be doing damage at the end of the run.
What?
And we are now running through the lovely catacombs for Prim 1. And Quadra doesn't get an encounter. That's rare. For Quadra, in this particular instance. Normally the encounter itself is rare. Rare-ish. It's common enough that you will see it if you run this category, or any category that involves Prim. Yeah, here we are doing a little... we might see a difference in order of things are done here as well. So Quadra's gonna go do the ally quest now. Teppo might do it between Prim 2 and 3 instead. So here's yet another NPC from a story that we have completed, Alike from Hanit's quest. So we complete his quest, which gives us the Tradewind's bow. I don't remember what his name is.
Tempest Bow?
We're also we're gonna buy the battle-tested axe here as well. And Quadra had enough money, so he did not need to do any selling. Nice. So when you buy the axe, you check for 64k money. If you have more, then you just go on your way. If you have less, you go to the shop and you sell some stuff. And yeah, he had 66k. And now we buy the wipe attacker that we skipped picking up ages ago from this thief, and then we kill him as part of Alike's quest. But we politely buy the dagger from him first. We cannot pick it up in this box.
Prim is dead now. Prim fans
Yeah,
look away.
Prim can die in this fight. If Prim dies here, one menu is altered to be a little bit later, because she doesn't get JP from this fight now. But we just move the menu to be later. That's all.
Hold on. That was a longer name than Tempest though. It was like Thunderous Bow of Storms or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Primeval Bow of Storms. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Primeval, right.
Yeah, we also put the PT staff back on OP. Do we? I think we optimize OP normally. Actually. The PT axe that we bought is an axe that increases ice element damage. And as you can see, OP cannot currently equip axes either. So there's gonna be changes to our lineup for the final fights.
Wait, what did we do with Ophi there? Optimize or change staff? What did you say? Because she probably would get the bow if we optimize, right?
Yeah, you actually only put the bow. I don't know. Yeah, I remember only putting the bow. Maybe you need to put the PT stuff. I need to check now. Because it's my segment for the relearn. But I have not had any trouble. Question mark. Anyway, we're doing Prim 2 here. Okay, so I was right about the PT stuff. I don't know why I saw Quadra. Maybe he went to the staff equip menu by accident instead of the bow. Because it's really rare for your bow to be like first in your weapons. Yeah. It's the second to last weapon. So I also do that quite often, that I press down when I'm going to equip the bow. But you don't have to. Yeah, here's Prim 2. This is a rare boss this late that we still break, actually. It's mostly because of just to make sure that Prim doesn't die. Because you don't strictly need the damage from breaking this. Sometimes if the boss has already acted, then you just defend with Ophi. But if Ophi is before the boss, you attack. I think he can probably one-shot Prim. Or now we're on Prim 3, which is just a lot of... Really nice thing about Prim's chapters, they are really short. You just watch a whole bunch of cutscenes, and then you kill the boss.
And the dungeons
really
are pretty short too. When you consider that it's just one mansion.
Yeah, the dungeon's short too.
Yeah, because other characters often have like a pre-area, and then you go to the dungeon.
Yeah, and Teppo is going to Red Eye. He already did the Hornet preparation menu for the end game. I didn't see how he did armor swaps, because those were also like introduced in the latest reroute. We did less armor swapping in the previous route. Okay, Quadra had the chest spawn, like normal people.
That's good luck.
Let's see if Quadra kills this encounter. Because he didn't kill any in Hornet 4. Maybe he's just so much ahead from having all the extra encounters that he doesn't need. Okay, he's killing this one. Yeah, he's killing this one. I guess he maybe was planning on killing the one in Crimson, but he got the comedian and couldn't kill it. So he takes this one. This is another boss that we have to poke with a sword a bit to make sure the damage works out. Again, just like 1000 damage to round up. And then we can see the power of boosted wind magic. So this boss is weak to wind, and we now have the 30% wind boost from the level. And we're just doing now like 60k damage to an unbroken boss. Well, not 60, but like 50.
Fun and balanced.
Yeah, Sorcerer's a really balanced job. Well, magic just in general, because you can buff it in so many ways. It's almost like multipliers are strong in RPGs. And here's Brim 4, which is actually one of the few story fights at this point that can do a little bit of mischief to us. It's not like run killing, but you can lose some time to having to do slower adaptations.
Wait, Teppo's whole team got stunned.
Yeah, something went wrong there. He must be missing damage. Or something. Yeah, this looks rough. I wonder if he's missing damage. I think if he was missing damage, he would try to just do more with Ophi now. So there must be some other problem.
He's trying to recover. He does not have a safety save, so he would go to the start of the previous screen, or yeah, the screen. It's looking a little rough.
Oh, another vengeance is coming in quite a screen. Does this mean that Prim single story had some interesting developments as well?
Yeah, that's unfortunate on Teppo's side. We'll see if he decides to do some extra menuing.
Yeah, let's see what if there was like. I don't see any menuing, so I guess he just made a misinput, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing about Simeon is that it's 2 fights. And if you don't level up from the first one, some characters can be quite low for the second phase. And then you kind of have to fix the situation at the beginning of phase 2 instead. Or fight 2. So let's see how Quadra... Otherwise this is scripted. But if you don't level up from this, then you might have to do some adjustments. Luckily also Prim has a free turn in Simeon 1, so she can heal so that you won't be missing HP for phase 2. So now Teppo does clear Red Eye normally, so I guess his setup was correct, he just missed an input or something else. Yeah. The fight is quite simple, so I'm gonna put my money on a misinput. Or trying to bow with Hanit while Hanit's blinded could be another thing. Yeah, here's Simeon 2. This fight is generally pretty safe. It goes to 2 turns normally, but if he silences the wrong target at a bad time, you may have to go to 3 turns instead. But this looks like... yeah, actually, we have to go to 3 turns because Ophi got silenced here.
You can't cast spells while you are silenced.
But she's first on turn 3, so we only just lose like just this one action. But you also have to adjust by peacock strutting OP, because your break rod is wearing off. So basically, because both the break rod and the peacock strut increase the damage by the same amount, you can use one or the other. And
Yeah,
if you
both give a 50% boost.
Yeah, ideally you just use the break rod on turn 1, because that gives you the fastest fight. But the backup is just you use peacock with Prim. That's something though, if you don't get the backup too often, you might forget that you have to do peacock, and then you are missing damage.
So Quadra just finished Prim, and Teppo is picking up Prim.
Yeah. Teppo has had some rough patches with
Yeah.
some bosses, for sure. Quadra's just had like a lot of extra encounters.
Outside of that, it's been pretty clean.
Yeah, but in this category, extra encounters are not that deadly. And here we buy another adamantine hat. So we have 2 elemental attack boosting hats now, which might lead you to think that we're gonna be using 2 different spellcasters eventually. Because we've also been piling up a pretty random assortment of elemental boosting weapons. So we now have a bow and a spear that boost wind damage, and we have an axe for boosting ice damage.
We don't go straight to the not 3% here, right? Yeah, we leave, okay.
Sorry, what was the question? I completely zoned out.
Yeah, I was just asking if we do the not 3% right away, and
No,
my
of course
answer
not,
was
because we are in the
or my
wrong
question was
screen.
answered. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We gotta warp out, man.
We go to Cyrus chapter 4, where the answers are not 4.
Yeah,
It's a scam. It's 2 instead.
it's 2, 3, 2 actually. That's 3, and one of them is 3. So here we are teaching Ovi all the Rune Lord skills. This unlocks the last passive skill on Rune Lord, which is a permanent elemental attack buff. So now we don't need to peacock strut Ovi anymore. One really important thing about this menu is that A, you have to do the jobs first. You have to remember to put Ovi back on Sorcerer and then equip her again. Because when you swap from Sorcerer to Rune Lord cannot use bows. So your bow's gonna fall off. So if you don't equip after the jobs, you won't have your bow. And if you don't go back to Sword, then you're in for a really bad time. Because you will have no damage for the fight. Because Rune Lord's way to do damage is... Rune Lord basically buffs your weapon with an element that when you attack, it also does a big hit with that element. But Elfrix doesn't help with that, nor does Elephants, because Elfric doesn't double your normal attacks, only skills. And Elephants obviously also doesn't do anything because you're not doing an AoE spell. So yeah, here's Lucia who has 30 shields. And that's way too many to break, so we just have so much damage that we don't care. So we're gonna break Rod again for the 50% extra damage. Cyrus is here on Hunter to leg hold, in case Lucia is going before OP on turn 2. Then we just, the usual buffer duo just defense, and we have Elephants, we have Elfrix, and we're just gonna blast through these shields with some wind damage. So now we are doing 15, 16k a hit without breaking. Curiously enough, that was more damage, less damage than when I'm doing this run. One was different. So I'm seeing 17k. Well, yeah, after beating Lucia, we have to scrutinize some books here. This is part of completing Cyrus 4. It's actually kind of relevant in Rogues coming up later today. Because it means we can kill Lucia without completing Cyrus' story. And here we are finishing up Cyrus. So once again, we have to run back to this mural on the wall that's on the first screen of the dungeon. And it's just faster to walk back into the town and run from the entrance. So Cyrus gets to talk to a wall, and his story ends that way. And yeah, here's one instance where you don't want to hold cutscene skip between the options. So just if you don't skip after the first choice, you have this short exclamation mark pop up instead of a cutscene skip. That's longer than the exclamation pop up. We got an extra curious bloom from the man outside the library there, because Quadra has been using them. And we got another elemental augmenter that we steal from Cyrus' student after we have completed his story.
For free! Very good deal. Okay, now we get to the 55%?
Yeah, it's a 55. You can also get a POM for 100% if you want to. But Quadra clearly doesn't need one because he didn't take it. It's one of the fastest POMs you can get if you are low on POMs for some reason. Funnily enough, you actually need, from this point on, you need more POM assets than you need any other POMs.
Oh, that's interesting.
You need 2 POM Ls and I want to say 4 POM S. Yeah, 4 POM S, 2 Ls. Boost Start does a lot to reduce the POM usage.
Right, time for Darius.
Yeah, he's a wet noodle at this point. We're just disrespecting him as is proper. So Therion and Cyrus can break him with normal attacks here. And then we just break Rod and we don't even do a fully boosted Ignis anymore. We just need a double boosted Ignis, basically. Bad turn out of there, we had to defend with Cyrus and Therion.
Huge time loss.
Yeah, now basically Quadra is done with all the stories and all the side stories. And there's one more side story he has to do, which is conveniently just north of Waterfall. And for some reason in this side story you have to fight a Taiga, that's a reskin of Venom Tooth Taiga. And it's a wet noodle. I don't know why, because the only time you can fight this upcoming boss is right now, after you've finished all the stories. And they just made a super easy boss here.
And this is where Quadra would notice that he forgot to go talk to the lady in Saintsbridge.
Yeah, I had this, not with that quest, but I forgot to talk to the wall with Cyrus. And I was like, where's the scenario? And then I look at my map and oh, Cyrus is still not done. Oh, Cyrus. Well, he has hang buff, so he would live anyway. But yeah, this tiger just dies when a light wind breezes at it, as can be seen right now.
I don't know if I would call this light wind.
It's a pretty light breeze. It's only 39, it's only 40k. Alright, now we are done, except for the part where we have to fight the actual secret boss. So, coming up we have a gauntlet of 8 repeat boss fights from the stories. And then we have a 2-phase final boss, where you have to fight each phase with different characters. And we are now basically shifting roles so that Tressa becomes a sorcerer and Ophelia is now Rune Lord. The Rune Lord ultimate is a really hard-hitting spell that hits with all 6 elements. And Ophi's having she's having a boost for 2 of the elements. One from Axe and one from
The staff,
a
right?
staff? No, wait.
Yeah, ice staff and ice and lightning axe. Right?
Yeah, oh yeah, the BT Axe has ice and lightning. Right. That's
Do we have the absolute zero staff?
no, we don't. It's just it's from the
We don't.
BT Axe. It has both elements.
Okay.
So here's a repeat Miguel, which all of these fights are just fast cleanups. We are not break rotting. Interesting. I guess because Tressa is before Ophi on turn 2, it's better to do. In this fight, Ophi would normally come as herself, and Tressa can miss the break rod. So Quadro saw the option to use donate PP with Tressa because Tressa was before Ophi. And that way also the break rod is guaranteed to hit, so that's a win-win. You don't need to use a palm, and you guarantee the hit. And yeah, you can see that Balagor's blade is hitting like a truck with the 2 element boosts and all the stuff that Ophi has. So currently Tressa is sorcerer only for the break rod. She actually doesn't do a whole lot of damage yet, but she's about to. But for now, Ophi is cleaning up most of these repeat boss fights. So yeah, here we are seeing Ophi is just palm assing herself. This is what we need the palm asses for, basically. Because Ophi is on 3 BB on turn 2 normally. And in order to use the Divine of Rune Lord, you have to have 3 DP. And there's like, no one can give her the PP because both... Basically, Tressa always break rods, and then Terion and Cyrus both need to do something else. But now we swap Alphen in, because Cyrus now has enough JP for his needs. And now we can, all of these next 3 bosses are weak to Axe, conveniently. So now, now Alphen can break the boss, and Terion can donate DP to Ophi. And now we don't need palm asses for these fights, basically. And here's the Tressa break rod mess. Unlucky. But it's easily fixable. You just don't break on turn 2, turn 1. And you just go 1 turn more. To give Tressa time to fix her mistakes. Reflect on your mistakes, Tressa.
And I guess if anyone's asking why we aren't using Balagor's blade earlier, the main downside to it is that, well, you need max BP, and then it's also a single target spell. And
We also just don't have the JP. Straight up, it costs 10k. No, actually it might only cost 5k. I think the divine skills of the advanced jobs cost less, but the basic skills cost 2k each. I don't remember. Here's Dragon, don't blink or you miss it. It's the same as the previous fight, basically. Alphen can break it in 1 go with the double tomahawk. This one's a range, so if he doesn't die, we're just gonna poke it with a sword with Terion, which we will be doing. And there goes the dragon. That's half of the gauntlet done, by the way. And Teppo is going up to Lucia now. Here is a refight with Matthias. Another easy fight because it's weak to Axe. This is basically just the same fight as the previous two, so it's not much to say here. Let's see what Teppo is doing meanwhile. So he's just running to fight Lucia. He went between the... What are those? That's the torch holder and the stairs. That's a gamer move because it's really hard to navigate. And I just go around because I think it's... I'm not enough of a gamer to pick through the small crack without losing time.
There goes Matthias.
Right, now we're gonna do the menu where Tressa becomes a menace. So she will now have knowledge staff, and because she's a merchant, she has access to bow and spear. And this means she can stack 2 wind boosting equipment. So Tressa now gets plus 60% damage on her wind skills. And this is why we use Tressa, because merchant has the access to those 2 weapons.
We also give Tressa, what's it called? The Divine for Sorcerer? Dressing spell, yeah.
Yes, it might or might not be used.
Maybe.
It's because there's 2 different versions of the fight it's relevant in, and the other one isn't used. So here's rematch with Ivan. This time, again, a lot easier. We do have to kill the ads, use our last soulstone, which has to be Shadow or Thunder, to break these ads. And one more time. Actually, no, not. She's gonna bomb as herself one more time after this. And now Tressa is hitting pretty hard as well. So she's gonna break them with Tonitrus. And here, actually, Tressa's SP is really accurate or precise. She has 2 left after doing this. If you have forgotten to put warrior skills on Tressa earlier, and you do the warrior skills in the previous menus, you won't have enough SP because swapping to warrior and back to sword cuts your SP.
Alright.
I've done that mistake a couple of times. So you have to, if you forgot to do warrior, you have to heal Tressa's SP. But just don't forget. That's the easiest way to solve the problem. So we're defending with Tressa, so we don't have to care about missing here. Which is smart. The boys can break the Tiger with weapons, because we are putting Alfin on Stasia. Stasia hype, it gets to do something.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's only here because it gives Alfin spear and dagger. So spear and dagger allow Alfin to break Ivan in the previous fight and this Tiger here with spear. Alright, now the best moment in the run. So we have Therion on warrior right now. It's not a coincidence. He's gonna insight in this fight because this is a dangerous fight. We gotta insight. So he doesn't hit other people. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same fight as the previous ones, but we have to actually let Therion take a little nap. And we use Curious Mist here to prevent the fear of Terra. And Therion takes a nap here. We're not gonna rest Therion, and we actually cannot. If you kill this fight without Therion napping, your run's dead. You have to redo the combat. Now that Therion's taking a nap, we can safely kill him. And the reason we are having Therion take a nap here is one of the Warmaster passives is a commonly encountered RPG buff, which increases your damage to lower your HPs. And if you rest with Cleric's Resurrection, you'll rest a character with 1 HP. So now we have Therion set up on 1 HP, so he can do some serious damage with physical skills. Because we are about to fight the double boss that has 2 different parties. And our strat for the first part is magic, and for the second part is physical. And the reason is something I actually already mentioned earlier, is that magic's better at single target at this point, and physical's way better at AoE. And the first fight is mostly a chunky boss that has a lot of HP. And the second phase of the boss is made of 4 parts that all are quite tanky. So you need a lot of AoE damage there. So now we have the 4 more parties. We already formed them at the flag that acts as a tavern. And here's the eye. So things to pay attention to in this fight is the turn 2 to turn order. The eye hits like a truck and it has 1 ad. And you have to make sure that Tressa's going before the ad on turn 2. Alphen has to go before Cyrus. And then someone has to be able to heal. And usually it's Ophi. And Ophi was able to heal there, so that's good. So now our turn order is good. We use Daughter's Charity here, another divine skill we haven't used that. It turns items into AoEs. So now that Cyrus uses items for the next 4 turns, it gets applied to everyone.
Which is very strong.
Yeah, it's very strong. The other thing here in this fight is we used the Rune Lord runes, which explained earlier, they add an additional attack. So Ophi can now attack the ad and do a lot of damage. And while we are dealing with ad, we are buffing up Tressa with Elephants, with Drysangs, which makes your magic crit. And then Ophi kills the ad with the Ice Pursuit here. And then we also have Alphen set up to do 8 axe hits that it was alluded to earlier. Then we just break rod the eye. We give Alphix to Tressa. And then Cyrus uses another jam here. So we're using Rev jams, which are full heals as you can see, and we hit everyone, so that's broken as hell.
And max BP.
And now we're gonna see some real damage. Here's numbers.
Tressa has all the buffs.
And then it has so much HP that we still need a Balagas to kill it. So that was a clean eye fight. The eye fight it's always guaranteed to win, but you have to adjust your fight script based on the turn 2 turn order. And you can also get a cursed turn 3 order, where if both Tressa and Ophi are before the eye, you cannot kill the ad. Because if the eye gets a turn on turn 3 without the ad being alive, it will respawn the ad. Actually, I think it will spawn 2 ads, so it's even worse. Alright, so here's Galdi phase 2. Here we have these 3 parts that we have to destroy before we can touch the main body. And one big thing about this fight is that the maw that is in the middle, if it's not under half HP when it gets its first turn, it's just gonna destroy us. So we are making Therion quite fast, and we're using a weapon toss skill that I forgot the name of.
Nightmare Chimera?
Yeah, Nightmare Chimera to toss one of the weapons we got from one of the bosses to do a lot of damage to them all. And then we are gonna use the best physical skill in the game, which is not the War Master Ultimate, which we didn't even learn. It's Thief's Aegis Reckoning. So this is a dagger skill that hits all enemies, and it scales off of your speed. So it gets a large damage bonus from having a lot of speed. And that is why it hits like a truck. And we got the mob down, and now we have to just worry about a couple more things, which is Livelock, which is the woman who is kind of poking out of there. Cannot act before the blade. Because if the blade gets buffed by Livelock, it's gonna AoE us to death. So she's the buff. And now Therion just kills these parts with this Aegis, and we got a really good turn order. Because when the main body, when the appendices are destroyed, you have to wait for the main body to get a turn before it removes its invulnerability. And we got it straight away. there's like a really cursed turn order where the body is absolutely it's before Therion on turn 3, and then it's absolutely last on turn 4. That's super cursed, but Quadra got a really good fight here. So GG's Quadra. We are 3 cutscene skips away for time for Quadra, if anyone's taking time. So that was a clean fight.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. There used to be a faster version of the fight where... So now I'm going to talk about speed. We used to have a fight version where as long as Allbreak goes before Therion on turn 1, you can do that in 1 less turn. So we are able to palm Therion before his turn, so he doesn't have to throw the weapon at the maw, and he can just airburst instantly. So then we only need to do 2 airbursts to kill the whole fight.
What is Quadra doing?
Quadra is, I don't know, just running around doing some memes.
He's
getting the golden axe.
Yeah.
He's getting the golden axe. This is Quadra's golden axe PV. Hell yeah. Alright, so Teppo is on the gauntlet. Alright, yeah, in terms of the speed discussion. So we wanted Allbreak to go before Therion in order to... Wow, it's not 100%. We wanted to...
Failed it.
Alp to go before Therion, and we gave Allbreak a whole bunch of speed, but he just like half a bunch didn't. So the current route actually just gave up on the idea entirely, and we reduced some damage from Therion by cutting nuts. So now we actually need to always do the weapon throw at the maw to have enough damage, and we also need more damage, a little bit more damage to kill the blade and life lab. But we have the turns to, because Aver's does damage based on your speed. If you use Panther Dance on Danza, that boosts the character's speed, it also increases the Aver's damage. So it actually acts like another 50% modifier for the damage. So we can use the speed buff and make up for the fact that we don't have as many fortnights, basically. Not fortnights, fortnuts. Important difference. Yeah, Therion didn't get the axe even after beating the Dark God on first try.
So I'm guessing Teppo's gonna have a slightly different setup for Galdera.
Yeah, let's see if he still is believing in speed. I don't think I haven't seen him buy the speed accessories or anything. So I don't think he is believing in speed. But yeah, let's pay attention to what Teppo. So he's like halfway through the gauntlet now. The gauntlet is probably the same. It hasn't changed really between recent instances of the run. So we're just gonna Balogars our way through the gauntlet. Let's see how this... So, he doesn't do a menu after Matthias. Interesting. That's really interesting, actually. Because even the previous route is the menu after Matthias. That's definitely what I remember. So, is Tressa doing damage here? So, Tressa has to have been equipped earlier to do damage. If she's not doing... If she's doing damage here. Doesn't target an ad with the Palagas here. Another spot where you have to pay attention to your targeting. Although we are not defending in this fight, so there shouldn't be any issues, except if you defend to skip turns, I guess. So no menu still. I think he did the menu before Matthias then. I guess it'd be the same. So while we are here, so we're probably going to be moving on to the next run as soon as we can. There's going to be another Galdera run later this stream. It's going to be a relay run between two teams of 3 runners, and the GOAT Quadra himself will be on commentary. So if you want even better insights into this run, definitely tune in for that one. It probably won't be as clear execution from runners, but the commentary is going to be absolutely top notch. It's from the man himself. So if you're up, just show up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm only talking about my own performance on the run. I'm sure the other runners are going to be shining. I will be doing the last segment on Team Boost for that relay. It'll be around 4 a.m. at night for me, so it'll be great.
Top condition.
Yeah. Or we get to see Tyrion take a nap again. And we get some Naso no Kemuri. Curious Mist, I think it's called in English.
Yeah. That is true.
Okay. Tyrion didn't die yet, so he's actually tankier than he is in the Quadra route. Because in Quadra route he always dies to the double hit, even if he's full HP. And if he's not full HP, you actually have to heal him, otherwise he might dodge the sweep. And then you get destroyed, because then someone else dies to the double tap. Well, you don't get destroyed, you just have to prolong the fight to rest people and stuff like that.
Sleepy Therion.
Oh, the good dog is now on the best NPC. Yeah, that is some great scrutinize or inquire dialogue or text, whatever. It is a dialogue box with text in it, so it's dialogue. You heard it here first. We are setting up Prim with Warrior and Merchant, so she gets cover and hanged up. And then she gets leg hold, as we saw in Quadra's. In Quadra's Galdera fight, we need leg hold to make sure the turn order works out in our favor. And Cyrus has all the scholar skills, so he gets elephants. And he needs dancer skills in order to have the
Show goes on for extended.
Yeah, show goes on, so we can have the elephants last long enough. And also, he uses Peacock Strut on Tress that also has to last for the whole fight. Alright, so here we have. Okay, this is actually a little bit cursed. Ophi has to defend here, I think. This looks a little sussy. Wait, this is not good. Okay, see, he heals up with Alphen. Oh, because Alphen's going. Oh, that was not enough healing. He needed to use a great punch. Yeah, he could have. Yeah, he had the possibility to heal with Alphen actually, because Alphen's before Cyrus on turn 2. But that was not enough healing.
So we're banking on Alphen not getting hit here.
I mean, it's well, I guess just don't get hit.
Yeah.
And also we are gonna have Ophi before the eye on turn 3, so she cannot kill the ad. Tressa has to kill the ad, which means we are on the backup script, where we don't use Trisang spell. And instead we already buff Alfrix on Tressa here, and Tressa's gonna kill the ad. And the way we are gonna then kill the eye is that we're gonna use Ventus twice, instead of using Trisang spell, so that's basically more damage, but longer animations. And OP is also gonna need to use a Holy Light on turn on this one, just to make up the damage a little bit more. So yeah, now you can see Tressa has to do Ventus here, and it's doing half the damage.
Yeah.
Not quite half. Yeah, it's about half actually. It's a little more than half. And now we Balagos, and then just Holy Light at the end. Normally you Holy Light on this turn, but since Cyrus was already able to throw the Cham in a good turn out of position, we can Balagos first, which reduces the chances of accidentally boosting the Holy Light too much and not being able to use the Balagos after.
Oh yeah, that would be awkward.
But normally,
Nice.
normally Ophi does only have 2 BB, so if Ophi is before Cyrus, she cannot boost the Holy Light too much anyway. All right, let's go. Final fight for Teppo as well. So let's see if this is any different, or is this going to be the same? Because you can end up with the same fight even with some differences in the routing. There's like a loose that can... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, Olbrich is fast. And Therion is before the Maw, so we do get the fast fight here. So we get to see the old fast fight, where Therion just does airburst twice, and we don't need to toss anything at the Maw. Yeah, this is relying on Olbrich being before Therion on turn 1. And now we gotta just watch out that Therion's going before the Maw on turn 2 as well, which is the case. And Black's not going before the Blade. No, wait, no, that doesn't matter, because in this fight the Blade dies here. Everything dies here. So we don't have to worry about that either. And we have a pretty good turn order here as well. We get Unimmunize, and we can start breaking. Well, we can leg hold here. We didn't see Quadro leg hold because he got a good turn order where all the other characters were able to get a turn before Galde's turn, so we just broke him. And here we throw one weapon, then we break, and breaking Galdera here gives us full BB, so he has... Oh, he's just throwing the other weapon for style points because we still have it. GT Teppo.
GG's the Teppo.
Alright, so we're gonna be transitioning to Alpha Glitched, which will be probably interesting to see how glitches are actually put into use in runs. So, GG's to the runners, and GG's to chat as well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks to Eng for the main commentary. And stick around to watch the rest of the
Yeah, I'll be back for Galdera, but it's the Octopath 2 edition.
Yeah, at the end of the relay.
But we're handing it off to the commentators for the Alphen run. It's Anime and... I think it's Anime and the runner, actually. Not Arnaud. Yeah, so, transition!